Ah, there we go. There we go. Good evening. Good evening. Um, so Action PC is being weird again. Sometimes I don't know. I love this game, but anyhow, how you doing, cousin? Saw that you had a bit of a rain out there with Clinton in a game you guys were playing. Let's go ahead and just close this. I've got to say, for as much as I like Action PC baseball, it is a little bit crashy at times. So there you go. Yeah. So thank you again, everybody, for coming in last night. Paul and I doing a game in Pocket Pennant Run baseball um, and his perfect team project. So fun stuff. All right, let's play this game. Theoretically speaking, does not have enough player. What is going on with this game? I'm almost ready to switch to out of the park baseball. I really am. Um, so there is nothing I can do about this. Just let's try to knock this out again. Sorry about this, guys. Um, so let's go here. Set all players active, and that should do it. Got it back about 45 minutes ago from Portland. So you were up there in the great state of Maine, cousin Ken. Yeah, cool. Nice, nice, nice. All right. Pardon me, guys. While there's so one of my and this is one of my favorite games, I must say. It really is. But when you do certain settings, um, Action PC Baseball doesn't remember them, um, and it really drives me crazy. Um, and I mean, I'm pretty excited for the next release coming up in December. But again, it's one of those things where this thing is just I understand that it's kind of Dave Cook. It's not his baby is the football game, so it says the baseball game. You guys really got to fix this because I don't. I want this to be on player quality, right? And I click OK. All right, and let's click OK, and let's try this again. A little bit more low key tonight. Traffic tie up there. Had dinner with the professor and his spouse. Good stuff. All right. Awesome. All right. Let's see what we got here. Now, hopefully, this will work. Doesn't have enough players. What is going Oh, my God. You know what? We're going to switch to Alla Park Baseball. This thing just drives me crazy. As you guys can see, we're kind of stuck here again. Um, Action PC Baseball, man. It's great, but it's buggy. It is buggy. It is buggy. All right, let me look at this. How can we not have enough players since I've been using this? So let me see. So there are no batters here. Boy, it's really nice. No pitchers, no nothing. So now this is another weird bug. Action PC has just uh, destroyed all the players. Oh my God. Wow. I'm glad you guys had a great day. I'm glad you guys had a great day. So what is going on with this thing? So it didn't wipe out the 1980s. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out a problem here with this stupid game. So there's nobody on the 19th century or the 1900s at all. Oh boy. 1910s are all there though, but not the 1900s. And can't really play much of a game without this, and I don't know how this could have even happened. This is so bizarre. All right, well, we're going to change it. Oh, you got the photos to show it too? Yeah, cool. So you know what? I'm going to switch this a second, guys. Sorry. I really, really don't know. They left for new players league. Yeah, no kidding. I don't understand. Sometimes this game is just buggy as all fuck, and I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, these guys aren't even right. They're not even showing up. Let me see if I can clean this league file and see if that does it. I don't know. I've never ever seen this happen. Yeah, there's still nobody there. So that ends this project. I'm not even going to try to redo it again. Thanks, Dave. Some weird bug just wiped out an entire team. Because I haven't done anything with this since we played. There's the 19th century is fine, whatever. So we're going to switch this thing. Let's edit this thing if we can. Or not. Or we'll just keep it going here anyhow. And wow, this is really, really weird shit, man. Strange, strange, strange. So, again, just I beg your indulgence here for a minute. Let's rename this thing. Yeah. So I don't know what game we should play. I'm really ready to uninstall this thing. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this happen before. Let me know. Hey, Bernie, have you ever seen this weird bug before? So Action PC it can be kind of unstable at times. It just wiped out an entire team. Everybody is here except the 1900s. It's just so weird. So yeah, I don't know. Anybody, just let me know in the comments. All the other teams are fine in this thing. So you know what? We'll just pick two other teams from National League Greats teams and just go from there. And I guess that killed that project because I really, really don't want to start it all over again. No pint in it, you know what I'm saying. So let's just pick two here from the National League from this. This is one of the products that comes from Dave Cook Sports. There's baseball's top 160 teams, so it's 80 great teams from the National League and 80 from the American League. I know it does weird stuff. Bernie, I don't get it. I will probably buy it one more time, but while it seems like it's getting better, it also seems like it's getting buggier. There's like, as far as I know, I have the latest update, and why it would wipe out an entire team makes no sense to me at all. But I've seen it do other strange things, and I'm just kind of getting a little bit fed up with it. So unless there's something new or big coming this year, I actually might give it a miss for this coming year because I haven't played it a lot this year because I do think this has been I've run into some issues with it, and I'm kind of getting a little tired of it to tell you the truth. So, and I don't really feel like restarting. Actually, you know what? No, I did restart and it didn't make a difference, but we'll try one more time. Gives me a chance to just say hi to everybody again and again and again. All right, let me try to reload this thing just for shits and giggles. See what it does. So yeah, they're not in here because they were league leaders. So look at this. There are no players. There are nothing. The only way to do this it would be to actually reinstall this again and then start the season over again. And I'm just not going to do it. It's not going to do it. So, all right. You know what? Let's just find something else. Go back to the National League here. All right, you guys. I don't know. I mean, of course, we got mostly. Actually, we have all American leaguers. Hey, Modern Relic, how you doing? Looks like we got mostly American League folks in the chat. So you know what? I'll switch this and we'll make this American League. So you guys pick the teams. There's all kinds of teams in here, and we'll just play one off just for fun. I just felt like doing a little bit of baseball tonight. Hey, I can find everything I can find on that desktop too. No, my other computer, I have things set very, very differently. So, but yep, I can find everything. Let me see here. So I don't know, guys. You guys want to pick a team? Should we do something recent, older? Doesn't matter to me. Let's play a New York Yankees game, but not the 1927 Yankees. I'm thinking the 1936 Yankees against. Let's play them against the 2004 Boston Red Sox. Why not? I don't know if there's any Yankees fans in here, but why not? So a little exhibition action here. Yeah? Let's do it. All right. So, but yeah, anybody, let me know in the comments if you've run into that kind of weirdness with Action PC Baseball. I've never seen that ever happen. So, could be any help would be appreciated. This is also bizarre here because, just give me a second. Is this the one I want? Yep. All right. So let's go to Bernie's Fenway Park here. Bernie and Clinton. Okay. And I'll let the computer do the Red Sox. All right. So Schilling. So Red Ruffing versus Curt Schilling in this little one-off here. All right, let's go. All right, here we are at America's oldest Major League ballpark. Fenway Park opened in April of 1912. And today we're going to see a matchup between the 1936 New York Yankees and the 2004 Boston Red Sox. It's going to be Red Ruffing versus Curt Schilling. 52 degrees here in Boston, wind speed 5 miles per hour. Out to left field, and let's play ball. And no, I didn't worry about doing setting up any logos or anything like this. This is just something fun. So the best part today was a cousin met your lady. That's really cool. That's really, really cool, Clinton. I'm glad you guys had a great time. Starting defense for the Boston Red Sox of 2004, the Breakers of the Curse of the Bambino. At first base, David Ortiz. At second, Mark Bellhorn. At short, Orlando Cabrera. And at third, Bill Mueller. In left field, Manny Ramirez. In center, Johnny Damon. And in right, Trot Nixon. Behind the plate, Jason Varitek. Got to find a picture for Jason. And on the mound, Curt Schilling. Leading off the New York Yankees, George Selkirk. 3-rate average, 18 home runs, 107 runs batted in. He married up, just saying. I'm certainly sure of that one, cousin. All right, we're underway, and Selkirk sends this one out to right field. Nixon looks up, and this one's gone. And on a 2-1 pitch, George Selkirk hits it 319 feet into the stands in right field at Fenway Park, and the Yankees put one on the board. All right, batting now, hot corner man, Red Rolfe. Red Rolfe, 319 average, 10 home runs, 70 runs batted in. Bill Dickey waits on deck. Curt Schilling peers in, has the sign from Jason Varitek, and the 3-1 pitch. Schilling not sharp here, gives up a home run, then a walk. So Red Rolfe is aboard. Rolfe not necessarily known for his speed. Here's Bill Dickey. 362 average, 22 home runs, and 107 runs batted in 1936. All right, Schilling needs to sharpen it up a little bit here. 1-1 pitch, and Dickey base hit right field. Nixon up with it, rounding second and on his way to third, and in there standing is Red Rolf. Runners at the corners, nobody out for Lou Gehrig. So hey, how you doing there, Flip? Welcome back. He said the 34 Yankees would have zero chance against. So that's kind of an interesting thing because somebody had mentioned one night, and I was talking to it with another YouTube content creator, how such and such a team would never have a chance against another team. You know, I mean, I am not a fan of American football at all. But I do know there's that saying, and actually, even they used it in a movie, Any Given Sunday. So, and we're playing the 1936 Yankees. But that being said, um, I mean that's cool. I mean, I think that's your opinion. Do I? I mean, I think these are both excellent teams, and I really, really do. But to say zero chance, that'd be interesting. So, do you have? I'm just curious because you're a baseball gamer. So I mean, how many control games or how many of you play? How many games have you played against those two teams? Flip, let us know. 34 Yankees against the 2004 Red Sox. Would like to know about your evidence. So we always like that. This channel is about education. It is. It is. It is. All right. So let's have fun with it. And as you say, it is a simulation game. So yeah, we're here to have fun, man. But zero chance. I don't think any team ever has a zero chance. I'll bet you on just any given game, even the 2024 White Sox could have beaten the 1961 Yankees, right? All right. Here we go. The Iron Horse. 354 average, 49 home runs, 152 runs batted in. And let me see. Is the rookie playing tonight? Yes, he is. The rookie, Joe DiMaggio, waits on deck. Yeah, zero is quite a bit strong, especially in baseball. But there you go. Again, we're just hanging out, man. All right, 1-2 pitch, and Lou Gehrig. Big swing and a miss. So Curt Schilling finally picks up a strikeout. One down now, and here's Joe DiMaggio in his rookie year for the New York Yankees. 323 average, 29 home runs, 125 runs batted in. Runners at the corners are run in for the Yankees. Schilling brings it. 2-1 pitch. Fly ball out to center. Johnny Damon has it just short of the triangle. And tagging at third and coming in to score easily is Red Rolf. So 2 in and 2 down. Brings up, push him up, Tony Lazzeri. Lazzeri, 287 average, 14 home runs, 109 runs batted in. Schilling fires, 2-2 pitch, and Lazzeri strikes out, and that will end the inning. But the New York Yankees pick up 2 runs on 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the first. The Yankees 2, and the Boston Red Sox nothing. The average pitch velocity, oh, okay, this one, huh? 1930s at 17 miles per hour. The average was 92. The home run distance was 2004. I see. Okay, so that's that argument. Let's deal with that. Let's just deal with that argument here for a minute, okay? And throw in if anybody wants to. So, basically, what you're saying there, Flipped Cannon. Largely, your argument is that old time baseball or older players would not be able to compete on in today's playing field. Would that be accurate enough to say? Right. So Babe Ruth's 714 home runs would have been gimmies off of easier pitching, and yet I would offer to you pitchers like Lefty Grove, Carl Hubble, in the 1930s were absolutely dominant. You also didn't have you actually didn't have as diluted a Major League Baseball as you did today. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Welcome in. Thanks again for the game last night, Paul. If you check your messenger, I did send you those 2 text files. So you had 16 teams, and that was it. Okay. So way too fast of a game now, and too much power needed to hit homers. Really? It's interesting. Okay, Flip. Let's take a moment. Let's discuss this. Because I find Okay, so your first contention is that baseball is way too fast of a game now. Um, the average dead ball game took an hour and a half. The average Major League Baseball game now exceeds 3 hours. Okay. Yeah. So number two, and Clinton jumped in before I could. Home run distances. Ballparks were larger. Yeah, we've a lot, but we'll do it again for these baseball fans, certainly. So, as a rule, not an exception, older ballparks were larger. You look at parks like Forbes Field; they were mammoth. Boston's the South End grounds. Look at the old West Side grounds in Chicago. Okay, so we have that. Now, the other thing you talk about pitch velocity, that's assuming that the fastball was the only pitch, which we know it isn't. But we also know because of physics um, that it's a lot harder to clobber a ball out of a ballpark on a changeup, right? Because the velocity, the force of that pitch coming in and the bat hitting it, they contribute to one another, right? Because it's just basic first law of thermodynamics. Okay, that and speed of the player, speed of pitching, speed of swings. So what would be your, I guess, your evidence here? I think is kind of thing. Um, the athleticism of modern baseball players is out of this world. It definitely is. However, my counter to that is, um, had these players, had Lou Gehrig, had Babe Ruth, had any of these players, Ty Cobb, Hannes Wagner, Rube Waddell, even any of them had modern training methods, what they would have done. I mean, I run into the argument that somehow older baseball is not a patch on today's baseball. But when you're talking about within each of their eras, you got to start wondering why um, so many records stood for so long. They were still home runs. They were still stolen bases. Um, Today, with more power in the game, no one has even come close to Tris Speaker. And let's face it, doubles are fairly common hit, much more common than triples. And yet, Tris Speaker's doubles record still stands. Um, Pitching was more strategic in the 1930s. Also, now they just throw. Okay, well, let's see. So again, I'm looking for your kind of, you know, a little bit more than anecdotal information here, Flip, my friend. He says you pitch a 98-mile-per-hour fastball to a 1936 player. Be funny to watch them looking every time. Okay, you know what? Who throws 98 miles an hour consistently? Consistently, even through 6 innings. I mean, even Paul Skeens, probably the one of the best pitchers in the game right now, doesn't do that. All right. Oh wait. Oh yes, Castro. Okay, Flip, you get one warning. You use first names here or you're gone. Graciously welcome you back. We're having a nice conversation. His name's Ken. All right. So, of course, they don't throw every pitch. They don't throw every pitch. I do see your side of the argument, Flip. However, that being said, it's also this again. How about yeah, Johnson Wood, yeah. So these were fast pitchers. Walter Johnson dominated the game, arguably the best pitcher of all time. But we've talked about that. But let's talk about this. So your contention then is that um, players like Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth couldn't compete today. Ty Cobb couldn't compete today. A very very different game today, even rules wise. Um, so yeah, I mean, I find it interesting. I find it interesting. So, what makes the discussion difficult, Flip, is this? Is this you know, is that none of us were alive to see. None of us here saw any 1930s baseball players. We didn't. Nobody saw dead ball players. I don't think there's anybody in this community that's seen anybody in the 1940s. I would say maybe a few have seen 1950s players, maybe. and then moving onward, sure. So what we have to go on are the stats, but we also have to go on um, not only stats themselves, but anecdotal evidence, certainly. D. Scott Howard said modern hitters are swinging at shiny white baseballs. Wouldn't even see a shine ball. Yeah, very, very true. Dead ball baseball, Flip, I'm sure you know with your considerable baseball knowledge, was a very, very different game as well. It was far more of a defensive game. It wasn't about power in the way that we think about it. Modern Relic says you're assuming. Yeah, well, Modern Relic does have a time machine. That is very true. You can compare in any sport different players. Nutrition, strength, says Paul. Let's get this up here. All make a difference. Not better or worse, just different. Modern baseball, still the best game in the world. I would say baseball game. Baseball. Indeed, Paul. I would agree with that and just add on that all of baseball is. So good stuff. So Modern Relic with his time machine. I love it. So again, I mean, I think it's a good discussion. I really, really think it's a good discussion. And I think also, I mean, this is why, there's you look at great journals like those put out by Saber and things, and we'll constantly argue this, and there we go. All right, gentlemen, one of you may do your job. You know what? I'm tired of you, dude. Just yeah, it's just give me a second here, gents. All, all Ken's girlfriends are old. Oh, that's not nice. All right, be back in 1 second, guys. Got to take care of something here. All right, we're back. So yeah, again, it's an interesting conversation. I would think that to say that one team, I mean, again, would have no chance against another. It would be, I would like to find more, uh, you know, talk about more evidence, and things like that. So good stuff. But I will say that if you're going to be participating in this channel, it's very, 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 very important that you're respectful to the people that are in here, Flip Cannon. Okay, respect. You don't call these people by their last names, anything like that. The last time you were in here, you insulted the community. I was very, very nice to allow you to stay, but you're not here to really do baseball. So, um, while you would offer a great topic for discussion, you just simply lack the social decorum. So, you just cool your heels there for a while. Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, it is what it is, Clinton. All right, let's get back to it anyhow. All right, Johnny Damon will lead things off here. Damon in 2004 hit 304, 20 home runs, and 94 runs batted. And guys, I have nothing against modern baseball. Um, I just find the attitude that somehow older baseball is an inferior game just kind of meh. Yeah, well, Paul, I keep the standards pretty low, but at least you don't call people by their last name or, before very, very insulting to people and stuff. So, but yeah, I allow you in, so that should tell you, right? All right, roughing deals 1-2 pitch, and Johnny Damon buzzes this one past Tony Lazzeri into right field for a base hit. Selkirk plays it on the hop. All right, so runner aboard, Johnny Damon with decent speed, and here comes Bill Mueller, switch hitter. 283 average for him, 12 home runs, 57 runs batted in. Roughing checks the runner, and behind an account 3-1. So neither pitcher looking terribly sharp right now as Mueller gets the free pass. All right, here's Trot Nixon, 315, 6 home runs, 23 ribbies for him. Johnny Damon at second, Mueller at first, and full count, and Trot Nixon draws the walk. So Red Roughing now with a bases loaded situation. This could be a short-lived 2-0 Yankee lead as Big Poppy comes to bat. 301 average, 41 home runs, 139 runs batted in. Red Roughing deals 1-2 pitch, and Ortiz, big cut. I mean, he was swinging for this Marlboro sign way out over there on right and goes down swinging. But Manny Ramirez, dangerous bat in there now, so it doesn't get much easier. Ramirez hitting 308, 43 home runs, 130 runs batted in for the 2004 Boston Red Sox. Here's the pitch. First pitch swinging. This one, Gehrig plays it on the hop, and they're going to hold. Can Red Roughing get out of this one? So after loading the bases, we got 2 down. So let me get this. Clinton says, we also know we don't insult platforms. He enjoys what I call self-play, strictly cars and dice, but God help anyone at great. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. But it's, it is what it is, right? Bada boop, bada beep, bada boop, huh? So I'm just not in the mood to engage tonight, man. So thank you to whomever did your job earlier, and I've completed it. And I know that right now he's, talking and nobody sees him, and he'll come back, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll just do it all over again. We'll keep dancing till he learns some manners. All right, we got a DH in here because it's the American League. Ugh. Doug Mirabelli, 281, 9 home runs, 32 runs batted, and 2 away. All right, Red Roughing for the stretch, looking to get out of this one. This one cut on, grounded to third. Rolf gets the nice bounce onto Lazzeri, and Red Roughing and the New York Yankees get out of it. The Boston Red Sox leave them loaded. We go to the top of the second inning. New York Yankees 2 and the Boston Red Sox nothing. Oh, that's awesome. So Cousin Ken says we had a good time today chatting about our family in here while watching a good ball game. That's great. That is great. I'm so glad you guys had a good time. All right, we got Frankie Crosetti leading it off here. Frankie Crosetti, shortstop for the 1936 New York Yankees, a 288 average, 15 home runs, 78 runs batted in. Schilling deals 1-2 pitch, and Frankie Crosetti looks at one in at the knees. A nice fastball there, a little loft speed fastball action from Schilling. 1 down. Ken Castro says that it took he and Clinton Parks 8 years to finally meet, but glad you guys did. So glad you guys did. All right, here is Roy Johnson. So Roy Johnson in a role that wouldn't have existed for the 1936 Yankees, a designated hitter. So 265, a home run, 19 runs batted in. Schilling deals 1-2 pitch, hard hit ground ball, but Cabrera with plenty of time sets and fires on to David Ortiz. 2 up, 2 down now for Ben Chapman. Ben Chapman, not a very nice fellow. but a decent player. 266 average, a home run, and 21 runs batted in. And fly ball to right field. Nixon back and at the wall, makes the catch. So the Yankees go quietly. We go to the bottom of the second. New York leads Boston 2-0. Now, if an Irishman would show up, got to see who joined for him. All right. And if Italian should show up. All right. Jason Varitek leading things off here. 296 average, 18 home runs, 73 runs batted in for the Boston catcher. Batting lefty against the right-hander Red Ruffing. 3-1 pitch. Ruffing again. Those counts up there, but Lazzeri on to Gehrig for the 4-3 putout. 1 up, 1 down. Now for Mark Bellhorn. Pretty good numbers for second baseman, especially with 17 home runs, 82 ribbies, a 264 average in 2004. Hockey season is coming up, says Clinton Parks. And Paul, 1-2 pitch, and Mark Bellhorn goes down swinging. This one catching the outside corner of the plate. With my oh my God! So Modern Relic says he says Beatles. I'm currently in a series with your $52. Oh my God! Connor's tearing it up. Connor was the only good thing about that 1952 Pirate team. Yikes! Sounds like a lot of fun. That's your worst teams tournament. Paul Fay last night was talking about a hockey game and a horse racing game he's developing, Clinton and Ken. And I told him about how on Sunday nights back in like 2018 and stuff like that, we'd all get together on the True Earls channel and for Apple horse racing. And I said, maybe in your game, if you can kind of do that, it would be really, really, really cool. They had Joe Garagiola. Yeah, there you go. To maybe Paul could revive something that was really, really fun. We had everybody from all kinds of channels back then, and I think that Ken and Clinton and myself were the only three. How about it? Yeah, the horse racing. Everybody came. D. Scott Howard was there also. Ken Castro, Clinton Parks, our Red Sox fan, ID Jester, the two Earls, Chris Delaware. It was just a great time. I remember it was 3 a.m. for me when that racing would start on Sundays when I was in Europe, living in the Netherlands. And boy, I'd look forward to it. That was worth it. So Paul, you could bring back something really, really amazing. All right, 2 down. Here's Orlando Cabrera, 294 average, 6 home runs, 31 runs batted in 2004. Red Ruffing, ready to go. 0-1 pitch, and Cabrera pops this one on the infield. Lazzeri waving off Crissetti, and he has it for the out. We've played 2 here at Fenway Park, and New York leads Boston 2-0. Herb Pilgrim, I miss Herb. I miss him, man. Does anybody ever know whatever happened with Herb Pilgrim? One of the coolest people in this community. So great name there. I completely, Herb, what a great guy he was, man. Was. Don't see him around anymore, so I don't know. God, I hope he's all right and everything is now. Okay, so he is around. Okay, that's good to know. Clinton says he catches him on occasion. I don't think I've seen Herb in a broadcast, and not just mine, but others, for quite a while. All right. Joe Garagiola. A night that Johnny Carson took a night off, and Joe Garagiola had the both the honor and the misfortune of interviewing John Lennon and Paul McCartney on the Tonight Show. So he's had heart surgery. Well, all hopes and everything for Herb, and maybe he'll make a surprise appearance one night, huh? All right, here's George Selkirk. Selkirk, 1 for 1, began the game with a solo home run. 1-2 pitch, Selkirk. Oh, Bellhorn ranging to his right, barehands it onto Big Poppy, and Selkirk is retired. 1 down. Here's Red Rolf. Red Rolf drew the walk. 1-1 pitch, and this one, routine bounder, Cabrera to his right onto Big Poppy. So 2 6-3s for 2 down. And here is Bill Dickey, Hollywood Bill Dickey, as Clinton reminded us, single to right center last time up. Schilling deals 1-2 pitch, and Bill Dickey down on strikes. We go to the bottom of the third. New York leads Boston 2-0. So yeah, I mean, those were fun times. So hopefully, maybe that will be something that Paul will resurrect. I think it was so much fun, man, so much fun. So Paul says he's been a sports trader full-time 20 years until went part-time last year. He has his own horse handicap. Johnny Damon, he started off the Boston first with a single. Thus far, Boston, this is the only hit the Red Sox have gotten off the Yankees, but they did manage to load the bases, but did not capitalize. And here we go again, Red Ruffing walking Johnny Damon. So Damon on base twice today. And here's Bill Mueller. And he drew a walk. Ruffing, 0-1 pitch, throw down, and Johnny Damon in there with a head-first slide. Picks up the stolen base. So potential first run for Boston in scoring position here in the bottom of the third at Fenway. Mueller back in the box. And the 1-1 pitch swung on, and this one grounded to right, base hit. Damon rounds third, and no flashing stop sign right there. Clinton says his retirement part-time job is handicapping, taking a long break while he is waiting for his lady to retire. All right, Trot Nixon bats with runners in first and third, nobody out. Red Ruffing in trouble here again. Got out of it before, but how many times can you poke the tiger? Trot Nixon walked back in that first inning. Again, Boston having loaded the bases, but not able to do anything about it. From the stretch, 3-0 pitch, and Ruffing loses Trot Nixon. And once again, the Boston Red Sox load him up. And here's Big Poppy, who struck out his last time. 0-1 pitch, Ortiz swings. This should get a run in. Gehrig up with it. Gehrig to Crosetti on the relay, back to Gehrig. 3-6-3 double play, but Johnny Damon will come in to score, and the Boston Red Sox cut the Yankee lead in half. It's 2-1. D. Scott Howard says that his retirement job is pet sitting. He's on the job as we speak, and what a great gig that would be. Ken Castro says, I hope his wife isn't listening. He says, my wife better keep working, Clinton. I need the 2025 Masters set next year. Monorelic says his retirement job is stress testing his couch. I'm taking notes here for what to do for retirement. So I wonder how maybe kind of I could pet sit while stress testing a couch, playing with the 2025 will be 2020 whatever master set when that happens. So I appreciate all these tips. All right, so a run in and 2 down, and here's Manny Ramirez. So Manny lined to first back in the first inning. 2-1 your score. From the stretch, 1-1 pitch. Ramirez pops this behind the plate. Bill Dickey tosses aside the mask, makes the grab for out number 3. 3 in the books here at Fenway Park. The Yankees lead the Red Sox 2-1. End of the month, says Clinton, going to Saratoga, but not for horse racing. Going to see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest. Hell of a concert. Appreciate you, cuz. All right, here's the Iron Horse. So Gehrig struck out back in the first. 1-2 pitch, and Gehrig, ground ball through the right side, base hit past the glove of Mark Bellhorn. Trot Nixon up with it, gets it in. Gehrig on at first. Brings up Joe DiMaggio, the Yankee Clipper, with a sacrifice that scored Red Rolfe, giving New York its second run. And the throw down, and Gehrig is caught stealing. So base is empty. And some may raise their eyebrows, but Gehrig would steal some occasional bases, including home. Yeah, good ball game so far, cousin. I agree with you. Little Yankees Red Sox action here. DiMaggio back in the box now, and 1-0 pitch, and the Yankee Clipper sends this one high, but not deep enough to right. Back on it is Manny Ramirez, and he gloves it for the second out of the inning. Brings up Pushim. So an Italian infield for these Yankees up the middle. Struck out back in the first. 0-2 pitch. Lazzeri sends this to center field. Johnny Damon makes a leaping grab against the wall. What a play up there. And center field by Johnny Damon, of course, showing Johnny Damon after the long hair when he joined the Pinstripers. All right, so that ends the New York fourth. No runs, one hit, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, and the Yankees lead the Red Sox 2-1. Cousin Ken says if only the 36 Yankees had better players to beat the modern Red Sox. It's all those walkers banging together down in front of the cage, says D. Scott Howard. Oh, my God. All right, Doug Mirabelli now leading things off here for Boston. Jason Varitek waits on deck. Mirabelli grounded to third. Forced Trot Nixon at second. Last time up. 1-2 pitch. Lazy fly ball out to left field. And DiMaggio races in and makes the grab. 1 up, 1 down now. Jason Varitek grounded to second back in the second inning. And Ruffing's 0-2 pitch. And Dickey drops the ball, gets up, fires it down to Lou Gehrig for the drop K. 2 up, 2 down now for Mark Bellhorn. Mark Bellhorn, nothing for 1. Struck out back in the second. 3-0 pitch, and Ruffing loses him. So another walk given up by the Yankee starter. That is number 5 by Red Ruffing in this game. Red Ruffing with just 3 strikeouts. Orlando Cabrera, nothing for 1, popped second back in the second inning. Ruffing checks Bellhorn at first. 2-2 pitch, and this one lined all the way into the wall in left. Bellhorn's going to come around and score. Cabrera with an RBI double, and the Boston Red Sox tie it up here in a tight ball game. It's 2-2. All right, back at the top of the order for Boston, it's Johnny Damon, single and a walk in this game. And 2-0 pitch. This one lined hard up the middle. Johnny Damon with an RBI single. Cabrera in there, and Bill Dickey's slide or tag not in time. 3-2 now. Red Sox lead. D. Scott Lesnar. So WWU volleyball hosted 3 this weekend. Lost to National. Number 11 ranked team, then beat the number 3 and 4 ranked teams. Good start, I would say. All right, here's Bill Mueller now. Red Ruffing not looking sharp there at all today. He is 1 for 1, including a walk. Johnny Damon on at first, 2 down. Ruffing looking for out number 3. 0-2 pitch, and he gets it. Mueller cuts and misses, but Boston Red Sox put 2 runs on the board and 2 hits, no errors. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Boston leads New York now, 3-2. All right. Frankie Crucetti due up here. Crucetti struck out back in the second. Curt Schilling thus far with 4 strikeouts and a walk. 0-2 pitch. And this one, Tapper back to the mound. Schilling off the hill, about 4 steps, and feeds it on to Big Poppy. 1 up, 1 down now for Roy Johnson. Obviously not the correct Roy Johnson. Grounded to short back in the second. We should fix that picture, shouldn't we? Nah, you know what? Let's just have this picture of Roy Johnson. 0-2 pitch, and Johnson bounding ball. Cabrera staying with it, took a weird hop, able to stay with that ball. Gets it on to Big Poppy for the 6-3 putouts. 2 down now for Ben Chapman playing center field. Flew to right back in the second. 1-2 pitch. I'm leaving that picture of Roy Johnson here to piss off Ben Chapman, by the way. All right. Anyhow, no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Boston leads New York 3-2. And we got Trot Nixon, David Ortiz, and Manny Ramirez, the heart of the order, due up for the Boston Red Sox. Trot Nixon has walked twice in this game. 1-0 pitch, and Nixon bounding ball, and perfect bounce there to Red Rolf, and he'll be able to retire Trot for out number 1. Here's Big Poppy. Nothing for 2 today. Grounded into a double play, but Johnny Damon scored on that double play. A 3-6-3 double play it was. 1-1 pitch. This one twisting foul. First base side. Gehrig going toward the stands. And makes the catch. So 2 down. Ruffing coming with the curveball on that pitch. Comes Manny Ramirez now. Ramirez, nothing for 2. Popped the catcher his last time up. Ruffing brings it home and strike out. So Red Ruffing actually has the easiest inning he's had so far all game. We go to the top of the 6th inning, and it's Boston 3, New York 2. Good ball game we got going on here. And again, just want to remind you guys that always open to good, intelligent discussion here, and just not disrespect. So just moving forward, I hope that I don't have to tell you guys this for later on for other people watching it. It's a family here we've created, and true, respect is an important thing, and just common courtesy, decency. Yeah. All right, so Selkirk 1 for 2, home run and a grounder. Schilling deals 0-2 pitch, and Selkirk looks at this one, just catching the black on the outside corner. So Curt Schilling with strikeout number 6. Here comes Red Rolf now. Rolf nothing for 1 and a walk. 1-0 pitch. Fly ball to right field. Trot Nixon back and makes the catch on the track. The 2 up, 2 down now. Curt Schilling settling down a bit here after surrendering 2 to the Yankees way back in the 1st inning. Here's Bill Dickey. He is 1 for 2 with a strikeout. 1-0 pitch, and this one softly hit ball out. No, it is not. I'm sorry. The wind gets that one, takes it for a ride. I thought that was just an easy hit ball out to right, but a home run by Bill Dickey, and the Yankees tied up 3-3 now. So, okay. So we had a couple of posers for everyone. Posers for everyone says Clinton says do the first one. He says, first one was who's the smart base stealer in history? So, boy, that's a good question. The reason I'm going to say Johnny Evers is because Johnny Evers, and I read this to you guys before, his kind of analyzing how long it would take to throw a runner out at second. So I would say in terms of that, my vote would be Johnny Evers. Probably not correct, but we're going to try. Clinton also says the other odds of Rose or Jackson making the Hall of Fame now that they're eligible. Though I think they'll both make it. Pete Rose. The only thing is because the whole 1919 Black Sox thing has loomed so largely, not just in baseball, but in all of sports. Pete Rose probably gets in before Shoeless Joe. And Modern Relic says, what was that red spot on Schilling's ankle? So, but the smartest base stealer, All right, here's Lou Gehrig. The Yankees come back with 1 here in the 6th and tie it up. 2 down, and the Iron Horse today has struck out or singled and grounded out. I'm sorry. 0-1 pitch. Gehrig, fly ball, right field. And this one off the wall. Gehrig going for two. Nixon up with the ball, gets it into Mark Bellhorn. So a double for Lou Gehrig, and now potential go-ahead run on in scoring position for the Yankee Clipper. Nothing for two. Sacrifice fly and scored Red Rolf back in the first. Clinton Park says now Schilling is one of the smarter pitchers, believe it or not, based on the game only, not his mouth. He was always taking notes. Yeah, I think Schilling was quite an excellent pitcher. Also a pretty serious gamer. And his game, there was a lot of weird controversy that came out around it. But Kingdoms of Amalur, what a really, really fun and beautiful game that is. And there are some rumors now that there may be a sequel to it. But yeah, Schilling definitely a good baseball mind there. So D. Scott Howard, wow, that would be so amazing to see Herb Pilgrim, just to say hi to him again. It's been way, way too long. Gehrig in scoring position now. Curt Schilling comes to the set, checks Gehrig, who was caught stealing earlier in this game. And Varitek out to have a quick word with Schilling, now back behind the dish. 1-1 pitch. Hard hit ground ball, liner right to Mark Bellhorn at second. And that does it. But the Yankees pick up a run on 2 hits, no errors. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. And we are all tied up at 3. John DFW giving us a good morning. John, hope all is well with you, bud. Good to see you, man. Hail, hail. The gang's all here, right? All right, Doug Mirabelli leads things off here. Jason Varitek, Mark Bellhorn for the Boston Red Sox here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mirabelli grounded to third and flew out to shallow left. Roughing deals, full count, and Crosetti ranging to his left, up with it, and on to Lou Gehrig in plenty of time to retire Mirabelli. Jason Varitek now, nothing for 2. Last time up, struck out. Roughing deals, 1-2 pitch, and Varitek looks at one in the knees. So Roughing could be settling down now, picking up his 6th strikeout of the game. And here's Mark Bellhorn now, nothing for 1. Walked his last time up. 0-1 pitch, Bellhorn cuts on this one. Clean base hit into left field. DiMaggio up with it. So Bellhorn on at first and brings up Orlando Cabrera. So big RBI double that scored Mark Bellhorn back in that 2-run fourth for Boston. We had a brief lead. All right. John saying he has a bit of, says everything is good with him, but some insomnia. Yikes, John. 2-2 pitch. And Cabrera sends this one to right field. DiMaggio, though, has it measured for out number 3. We head to the top of the 7th inning. And the Yankees and the Red Sox tied up at 3 apiece. Tony Lazzeri will lead it off here, followed by Frankie Crosetti and the incorrectly pictured Roy Johnson. Lazzeri in the game, 0 for 2. Flew out his last time up. Schilling thus far with 6 strikeouts, only 1 free pass given up by Curt Schilling. 1-2 pitch, and this one, routine fly ball, center field. Johnny Damon back a couple of steps, makes the grab, out number 1. It was Frankie Crosetti. He is nothing for 2, grounded back to Schilling last time, a little tapper. First pitch swinging, this one ripped up the middle, base hit. So the Yankees now lead in hits 6-5. Crosetti on now for Roy Johnson in DH duties. He's grounded out to Orlando Cabrera twice in this game. Schilling deals, 2-2 pitch, up the middle. Schilling has it though. Good stop, fires on to Big Papi on the play. Frankie Crosetti moves to second, but 2 down now for the Bombers. And here is Ben Chapman. He's flown out and struck out. And Chapman goes down swinging. 7th inning stretch times here at Fenway Park. It is 3-3. We'll be right back. welcome back. Clinton Parks says he's dreading starting rehab today. We're all with you, though, Clinton, and everything's going to be right as rain. This is John wishing Clinton all the best with rehab. It's going to go well. So rotator cuff is primary, says Clinton. The muscle had to be repaired. Also showed cousin the scars had to grow some out. All right. Back at the top of the order here for the Red Sox and Johnny Damon. Damon, 2 for 2 in a walk today. Also an RBI that scored Cabrera back in the fourth. Red roughing deals and behind the count 3-0. And there we go. Another walk. Johnny Damon on base all over the place here today. So Red roughing now with 6 walks and 6 strikeouts. And Aaron Reed, how you doing? So Clinton, we understand that something like that's going to delay broadcasting, but it's going to be great to have you back when you feel the time is right. So keep on the lookout, guys. It's going to be a big event. Clinton Parks will be eventually returning to broadcasting on YouTube. It's been too many years. All right, Damon on first, nobody out. And Red roughing, very, very uneven performance here today. Mueller struck out back in the fourth, so 1 for 2 today. Got a pretty good crowd here, Aaron. 1-2 pitch, and Red roughing, just as we say that, this one, so chasing on that one was Mueller, but Red roughing will take it for strikeout number 7. And here's Trot Nixon, who was 0-for-1. Trot Nixon has walked twice. Johnny Damon on at first, 3-3 your score here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 0-2 pitch, and Nixon swings. This is going to be a base hit right field. Selkirk up with a Johnny Damon turning on the Jets, round second, almost cut second, and makes it into third as the throw gets into the cutoff man. Runs at the corners now. The Red Sox threatening here in the bottom of the 7th to break the deadlock as David Ortiz steps in. Ortiz is 0-for-3 in this game. Popped out last time. Roughing, bearing down, 2-0 pitch. Ortiz swings, liner to right. No, Selkirk plays it on the hop, and that's going to be an RBI for David Ortiz. Johnny Damon will come in to score, and Selkirk gets the ball back in. So the Red Sox retake the lead. It's 4-3. The line for Boston right now, 4-7-0, and for the Yankees, 3-6-0. All right, here's Manny Ramirez batting with 2 on, 1 down. Struck out his last time up. Roughing deals. First pitch swinging. Fly ball deep to left field, and this one off the wall, and 2 runs will score, and now the Boston Red Sox looking to bust it open. It's 6-3. So that's what happens when you don't put the Boudreaux shift against Ortiz, and then that lets Manny Ramirez come up with a home run. It's now 6-3 in favor of the Boston Red Sox. Here's Doug Mirabella now. Nothing for 3. Roughing deals, 2-0 pitch. Grounder to third, and Red Rolf up with it. The long throw across the diamond. Lou Gehrig with the stretch, and gets the spikes back on the bag. 2 down. But Boston doing big damage here on the Ramirez 3-run shot in the bottom of the 7th. 6-3 your score, 2 down. And here is Jason Varitek. Varitek nothing for 3. He's whiffed twice against roughing. 1-2 pitch. Varitek's not whiffing this time. Base hit up the middle. Throw home. Manny Ramirez is safe. How about that? So it is now 7-3. Boston pulling away here from the 1936 New York Yankees. All right, here's Mark Bellhorn. He's 1 for 2. Roughing deals. Bellhorn, fly ball deep to center field, off the wall. Chapman plays it off the carom, and Varitek's going to come around, and I think Mr. Ruffing's day is probably done here. Wow. How about that? 8-3. Yeah, at the top of the wall, right, D. Scott? So That I don't fault Action PC Baseball for. I do fault it for nuking teams, though, for some bizarre reason. If you were around for the beginning of that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Herb Pilgrim, it is so great to see you. Oh, my God. Herb Pilgrim is here. This is, like, huge. Herb, I hope all is well with you, man. This is what's to say here about the Sox taking the lead. Herb Pilgrim joining us. Herb, oh my God, I don't know how long it's been since I've seen you here in any broadcast, buddy. Missed you so much, man. Missed you so much. So here we go. Herb Pilgrim, he gets some marquee love here, man. He says, "What's this?" and saying hi. And man, this is awesome. Saying hi to everybody. So Herb, we were talking about the horse racing stuff that we used to remember some years ago that we did on the Two Earls channel, man. You were there on Sundays with everybody. Missed you so much, Herb. So glad to see you tonight, man. I hope everything is going well. You are missed, my friend. You are missed. All right, 2 down now for Orlando Cabrera. And the Red Sox breaking it open big time. 5 runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So if old Flip Cannon's listening in, there you go, Flip. Look at this. He remembers Appa Racing, absolutely. So Flip, yeah, these maybe, you know what, if you're ever in here again, maybe we'll go around and play with some back to baseball. I'd like to carry on the conversation that you did start. You know, we get a little bit more respectful of the folks in here. Let's pick that up again. All right, buddy? All right, here's Orlando Cabrera now. Red Ruffing looking for a third out that just seems to elude him at every turn. And that will be it for him. All right, Red Ruffing is out. Jumbo Brown is in. We'll try to talk to you. A little tapper to the mound. And that will take care of Cabrera. But the damage has been done here. 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors. Yes, a good tight ball game, but now going into the top of the 8th inning, the Red Sox lead the Yankees 8-3. Herb says, "Thank you." Says, "Miss being around." Well, my friend, it's always just, I mean, wow. I really don't remember. It's been a few years, man. It's got to be a couple, 3 years. So happy that you stopped in tonight. So here's what's going on. I'm hoping, Herb. So our good friend here, good member of the family, now we call it a family, Herb, of which you're a very important part of. Paul Fay, huge baseball fan and all that kind of thing. But his thing is horse racing. And he's been writing a horse racing game, putting together a horse racing game. So I had talked to him about last night in a broadcast that I did about the horse racing that the Two Earls used to do on their channel on Sunday nights. Used to be back 2018, I believe it was 2017, 2018, whatever it was. And I said, Paul, this would be amazing if you could like revive that tradition, because Herb, you remember, I mean, everybody was coming into that. So stay tuned. Let's see what happens. Certainly was fun. There's you and D. Scott Howard, Clinton Parks, Ken Castro, I.D. Jester, our Red Sox fan. God, how much fun was that? Jeez. Actually, Clinton, he addressed that last night. He's going to be doing a little bit of each, actually. Yeah, it was awesome, Herb. How about it? Absolutely. It's so much fun. It was 3 a.m. for me when they were doing that, because at that time I was living in the Netherlands. But boy, that was definitely worth staying up for. Sometimes I was just getting into, since I was, doing the show business thing over there. But man, so much fun. All right, Schilling deals 1-0 pitch to Selkirk. Fly ball deep to right field. And George Selkirk with a second home run in the game. And the Yankees cut the lead in half. Now it's 8-4. This one 316 feet. So Selkirk, with an affinity for Fenway, goes yard twice in this game. Now here's Red Rolf. So, yeah, originally Ireland, but then I was in the Netherlands. So that's when I joined this community. I was living in Rotterdam. All right. So here's Red Rolf now. 2-1 pitch, and Rolf, a little roller to Cabrera, but they're not going to. No, they do get him. Oh, close play. I mean, his spike was probably just a millionth of a millimeter from the bag, and so the 6-3 putout, that was super close. One down now, one in for the Yankees, 8-4 though. And here is Bill Dickey. So 3 home runs in this game by the Yankees, 2 by Selkirk, 1 by Bill Dickey, and that was hit back in the 6th. Schilling swings, Bill Dickey, base hit, right field. Nixon plays it on the hop, gets it into Mark Bellhorn. Dickey aboard at first, his 3rd hit today. Brings up the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, doubled his last time up. All right, Columbia Lou in the box. 1-2 pitch. Gehrig pops this one up on the infield, right-hand side. Bellhorn, Ortiz converging, and Ortiz will make the grab, out number 2. Schilling looking like he's getting to his fatigue level out there. We'll see what the manager decides to do as the rookie Yankee Clipper in the box now. DiMaggio in this game with a sacrifice RBI back in the 1st, 0-for-3 today. Schilling deals, 1-2 pitch, grounder to Cabrera. Cabrera is going to go the long way to first to retire DiMaggio and the side, but the Yankees do get one back on 2 hits, no errors. George Selkirk going long for his 2nd time today at Fenway. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Red Sox lead the Yankees 8-4. So Schilling, when I mentioned that was 114, was his expected pitch count. So we'll see whether Schilling will come out to start the New York 9th. And when the Yankees do come to bat in the 9th inning, we'll see Lazzeri, Crosetti, and Johnson. The 6, 7, 8. Back at the top of the order now for the Red Sox and Johnny Damon. Johnny Damon has been on base all 4 times today. So 2 walks and a regular old single and an RBI single. I do not have Boston Newman, actually. 2-0 pitch. And bounding ball to Frankie Crosetti. Crosetti fields it. And fires on to Lou Gehrig. 1 up, 1 down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Clinton. Let me double check. So, Boston Red Sox are on computer. All right, here's Bill Mueller now. He is 1-for-3. Whiffed twice in this game. Jumbo Brown stays on in relief. Fly ball center field. Chapman has it medium deep. 2 up, 2 down. Trot Nixon, 1-for-2. Single back in the 7th. Brown deals. Nixon swings. Base hit. Into right. So that's the 11th hit for Boston. Brings up Big Papi now. Ortiz in the game is 1-for-4. So back in the 7th with that RBI, starting that big 5-run 7th for the Boston Red Sox. Here's the pitch. Ortiz swinging on the first pitch. Fly ball deep to right, and it's gone. George Selkirk looks up at about the same place where he jacked 2 out of here. And the corpulent female warming up her pipes. It is 10-4. So the Red Sox busting it wide open here in this exhibition game. Manny Ramirez now with a double in the game. RBI double. 2-1 pitch, fly ball to left. DiMaggio has it for out number 3. So a batter too late. And here we go. We got a new pitcher in. And it's going to be Lenny DiNardo. on to just soak up these last 3 outs here. And here we go. So Tony Lazzeri in the box now. Lazzeri 0 for 3 in today for Pushima. And this one missing down low in the strike zone. Fastball by DiNardo missing. Lazzeri aboard. Here we go. Here's Frankie Crosetti. You know, it'd be fun some night when we have more time is to then take these same two teams and not as a control, but just to compare the two games and play this in out of the park baseball. Very easy to just pick two teams and play them against each other. So we have to do that some night. I think it'd be fun. All right. So Frankie is 1 for 3, singled back in the 7th. Push him up with 8 steals in 1936. 2-2 pitch. And this could be a 2-ball here. Bellhorn Cabrera, 4-6-3 double play, and the Yankees down to their last out now. So Roy Johnson. And again, I know incorrectly pictured Roy Johnson, but I want to leave him in here because it'll chat Ben Chapman's ass. 2-1 pitch. This should be your ball game. Cabrera to Ortiz, and the Boston Red Sox win this exhibition game 10-4. So, Herb Pilgrim. It's so cool to even be just saying your name again, my friend. This is this year's first Boston versus Yankees game, spring training game, right before the season started. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. It was a 4-4 tie. How cool would that be? Oh man, I would love. I've never seen a spring training game. Hey Larry, how you doing? Larry says fun game. Yeah, thanks Larry. So this is part of base. It's a set put out by Dave Cook Sports. It's called Baseball's Top 160 Teams, 80 American League teams, 80 National League teams. So let me see. So George Selkirk, 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 2 RBI. Bill Dickey went 3 for 4 with a home run in a losing cause for the New York Yankees. Again, exhibition game, so it doesn't count. But what a fun game it was. It was a tight one until the bottom of the 7th. And then Boston just dropped the bomb. Fat man and little boy. So David Ortiz went 2 for 5 with a home run, 3 ribbies. Trot Nixon 2 for 3. He walked twice. Johnny Damon 2 for 3 and a stolen base and 2 walks for him. Looking at the pitching here, Red Ruffing not especially strong. Went 6 2/3, 8 earned runs, walked 6, struck out 7. Jumbo Brown worked 1 1/3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, and gave up the home run. Right. Curt Schilling, better, certainly. 8 innings, but Schilling again. Sharper. 4 earned runs, gave up 3 home runs. The 2 George Selkirk shots, one by Bill Dickey, walked 1, struck out 7. DiNardo came on and worked an inning in relief and walked batter, and that is it. So because it's an exhibition game, we don't have a player of the game or anything like that. So, I think we'll just leave it at that. Tied. There's no time in baseball. So Herb asking Clinton how's he's been doing. He said almost caught a ball that Aaron Judge tossed to the crowd. That would have been so cool, Herb. So everybody, Herb Pilgrim, man, this guy, longtime member of this community and of this baseball family here. So Paul Fay, hopefully, maybe you'll be the man to bring back the horse racing. What time is it here? Oh my goodness gracious! How about it? I don't have to work tomorrow, but it's 1:32. I know some of you do. So Clinton relating to Herb about some about the surgery he's just had. So anybody out there who's an action PC expert, let me know if you run into this bug. I have this Decades League that I've been playing. It was a subset of the Baseball History Collection, and it wiped out the 1900s decade. The 19th century, the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s are all there. But that team is gone. And I have no idea why, but I'm not going to restart that project again. I'll try to think of something else I want to do in action PC baseball so I don't get all nuts about it. But oh man, you Herb, thank you so very much for coming in. Can I open the rosters in the? Oh yeah, I have to get back to the. Do you mean like during a game or right now, Clinton? And I've switched to National League. Let me go back to American League here because there's probably a roster you wanted to look at. I'm guessing. So, is there a particular roster you want to see? There's 80 teams here for each league. So, all the usual suspects are in here. So, a lot of fun. This would be a great thing to. Well, I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably play all these teams and see who would just come out at the end of a season. But I think this would be really good. These are really good sets just to draw upon and kind of create your own thing too. Make a hell of a draft league too. So yes, I can. If there's any rosters you want to see, Clinton. So just give you an idea. I'm just going to open one of these, and let me see how far back does this thing go. So the 1903 Boston Red Sox are the earliest team here in the American League. You can see it's just tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of teams. Anytime 1910s, if you get up in the background, I have a silly idea, but it might work. Do you mean for that decade league? I mean, I'll switch to it if you want. I thought you meant this thing right here. Yeah, well, try your idea, man. I know 1902 Pittsburgh. Well, let me see. Let's go to the National League and let's see. It'd be easy enough to bring in 1902 Pittsburgh, but I don't think that they are in here. Let's just bring up one here and let's see what the earliest. Yeah, so no, they put the 1903 Pirates in here. So I would have put um, the in the files. So you mean actually go into the directory itself? Yeah, I suppose I could do that. So yeah, 1903 Pirates are the earliest in this set. I would have opted for the 1902 Pirates myself, just because what a dominant team they were. All right, yeah, let's go in and have a look at what the hell's going on here, man, because I have no idea. I have no idea. And if you have, hey, I'll take any crazy old idea at this point. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just go back. It's got to be just DK Sports Data. My bad. Baseball. Seasons. Just give me a second here to find it. It's a good thing I don't have everything like installed here because. There we go. Baseball history decade teams. So these are all just games that were played, but I don't know if we can actually see these rosters. Nope. Maybe Steve Tate would know how to do this, but I don't. But there's I can't actually see the rosters outside of the game, unfortunately. So again, it would be an easy matter to reinstall it. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not. And again, here, I mean, I'll show. This is so weird. So weird. And I don't. I mean, I could start it and just autoplay 14 games, but then like, is it going to happen again? So, but we'll switch here. So, look, there's all the guys from the 1950s. Everything is fine, but we go to the 1900s. There's nobody there. There's the 1910s, right? 20s. Everybody is in here except the 1900s, and the 1900s had it was 10 wins, 3 losses. So I don't know. I mean, you know, it's strange. Actually, you know what? Let's see something. Just because I have a bizarre idea too, because this will tell me if the baseball history collection itself is. So pardon the big mess here, guys. This is like now everything. So I'm going to reinstall it, and I want to. I just want to see what happens. Bear with me a moment, if you guys wouldn't mind, till I find it. Because I mean, I love this set, and I've never seen this before. So, wow. So one of the nice things that it has now, too, is if you wanted to do just like either by country or when a player made his debut. There's all kinds of great things in here. Um, but there we go. Decade, teams, zip. Let's install it and let's do it. Okay, let's see if they're in here again. And it's going to go to blank, blank, blank everywhere. It's having trouble updating the league files. So let's give it a minute. So Herb Pilgrim says, if you could believe this, he played in an all-time double elimination tournament with that strategy game that told us about Beatles. He says every team went on forever. Forget who won. Awesome. There we go. So let's check the 1900s. That's so cool, Herb. Glad you like the game. So see, they're back, and it kept that because I'm using a field assignment, but again, my thing is, do I really want to just autoplay this again up to game 14? Maybe at some point in the future I will, but find something else. Herb, I'm glad you're enjoying strategy baseball. Pure Sim is also another one to pick up. So that that I've been telling you about it. You've been listening in at least, so that's good to know. That's good to know. Could have been corrupted somewhere. You know what? I haven't set anything up here yet. I want to try something because everything was looking fine with this. Now, what happened was I went to manager and viewed all manager settings, and all I did was change player usage preference to player quality. Okay, and then just reset, blah blah blah. So did that, and boom, and I clicked OK, and there we go. There's the lineups now that I would like. Right, so click OK. If I click, let me see if this happens again. Let's let it update. This takes a second because what this does is it loads in the entire baseball history collection. So there is everybody. So, and one of the things that Action PC has trouble with is remembering settings. All right, Clinton says he's going to crash. So thank you, my friend. Wish you the best tomorrow on your first day of rehab. Modern Relic says, I blame myself, Clinton. I took those files to shady clubs and bars. Sorry. So Modern Relic, cousin Ken Castro, and the part of this league file. How about it? Oh, you know what? Just for giggles, let's go ahead and play. Let me see. Let's play this up through April 14th. Yeah. And let's go. Just to see. I mean, it's going to change up all the time or whatever, but let's see what the 1900s this time do. And then we'll call it a night. So, family player of the game tonight is Herb Pilgrim, man. It's so great to have Herb hanging around with us, and hopefully won't be too long. Aaron Reed says still yet to finish his 2000 replay with Pure Sim. Waiting to do it on my on here. Okay, yeah, man, we can do that. Maybe not tonight as it's 1:43, but let's look at a possible next weekend for that one, Aaron, because you know when you and me get talking baseball, we're going to be here till 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, right? All right, Clinton Parks welcoming Herb Pilgrim back, telling him, don't be a stranger. Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. The 1910s so 1900s and the 1910s, the Dead Ballers making a good showing here. If this thing behaves itself, we're going to try one more time with it. But if this croaks again, 1910s off to a roaring start, 9-1. All right, good stuff. I partly want to do another baseball game, but probably as what was George Bush Senior, George H.W. Bush would say, that would not be prudent at this juncture. So, all right. So at the end of play on April 13th of whatever year we want to make it, let's let this thing catch up to us. All right. Hopefully you can, Herb. And yeah, man, just take care. Take care. All right, so here we go. The standings at the end of this first couple weeks of play. So the 1910s at 9 wins, 3 losses. The 1960s tied with them for first, each at 9-3. The 1990s and the 1900s each at 8-4. The 1970s, 1940s is 7-5. Playing 500 ball, the 2000s and the 1930s. The 1920s only 2-10 or 2-10. What's going on with those guys, man? They're just not hitting or what? Look at that. That's terrible. But the 19th century and the 1980s, each playing 3 wins, 9 losses. Just curious when we do return to this league, if it doesn't get all bollocksed again. Upcoming possible matchups here would be Tom Glavine, Lou Burdett. That would be the 1990s versus the 1950s. Larry Corcoran versus Stan Kovaleski, the 19th century against the 1920s. Let me see who else we got. Roy Halladay and Catfish Hunter. Great one there. Hal Newhouser, Grover Cleveland, Alexander. We'll wait for Cousin Ken to be around for that one with Alexander starting that game. Bunning and Martinez. And Grove and Brown. Ooh, lefty Grove and Three Finger Brown. Oh, hell, even if it's just me, I'm doing this game. I'm doing it. That's it. I'm just doing it. All right. So I'm using the ballparks that I'm using in this game. I'm not using park effects. Think of them as just backdrops. That's all they are. So we're going to be playing in Busch Stadium for a little while. So anybody wants to hang out here, you can. And if not, thank you for coming in. The 1930s face off against the 1900s. And let's go. All right, so we need a computer lineup versus lefties. All right, and here we go. So this should be a pretty fun game. Three Finger Brown versus Lefty Grove. Let's get to it. All right, welcome to Busch Stadium for this game between the 1930s and the 1900s. Lefty Grove on the mound for the 1930s. 2 starts in the year. He's an 0-2 with an ERA of 3.71. This will be a second start against the 1900s. 0-1 against them with a 6 ERA. Three Finger Brown will counter. 2 starts in the year, and he's 1-1, an ERA of 2.50. His first start against the 1930s. Paul Waner is on a 12-game hitting streak, 54 degrees here in St. Louis. Wind speed 4 miles per hour in from center field. All right. Modern Relic said, good night, Herb. Thank you so much, man. Modern Relic says he's here for it. Says he's got a pull for Three Finger Brown. All right. Former Pittsburgh Pirate, Big Poison, Paul Waner, leading things off to first, the starting defense for the 1900s. And we got after the first pitch, we could change George Stone's picture. So George Stone in left, Chick Stahl in center, Elmer Flick in right. At first base, Buck Freeman. At second, Napoleon Lajoie short, Hannes Wagner. And at third, Jimmy Collins. Behind the plate, Johnny Kling. So we have us a Chicago Cub battery going. On the mound, Three Finger Brown. All right, Paul Waner in the box now, hitting 396 in the year, 2 home runs, 3 runs batted in. Let's get it going here in St. Louis. 2-0 pitch. Waner connects. Long fly ball right field, but measuring it up out there in right field is Elmer Flick. Out number 1. All right, let's take care of George Stone's picture here, because that will not do. That will not do. I do like that in Action PC Baseball, in-game you can do this. And I've also got the wrong team. Duh. So give it a second here. So if you're ever working with the Baseball History Collection, just so you know, it takes a little bit longer for it to do things, because even though you've got this subset of it, it still has it loads the entire almost 19,000 player database in here. So would like to see that maybe fixed at some point. There we go. That's a better looking George Stone, I'd say. All right, back to the game. All right, here's Charlie Gehringer now playing second base, late of the Tigers. Gehringer with a 250 average, 5 runs batted in on the season. Three Finger Brown ready to work. 3-1 pitch. Charlie Gehringer works the walk from Three Finger Brown. So 1 on, 1 out now for Lou Gehrig. So Lou Gehrig playing in 2 games tonight. 2 consecutive games. Maybe that means something. 244 average for the Iron Horse. 5 runs batted in. Brown checks Gehringer at first. Decent speed. 1-1 pitch. Gehrig swings. This one soft liner right to short. Hannes Wagner has it for out number 2. Brings up Black Mike. Cochran, 316, 3 runs batted in for him. Brown deals, 2-1 pitch, and Cochran, ground ball, base hit, right side, Flick with a strong throw, cut off by Napoleon Lajoie. Gehringer will move to third. So 2 down as Three Finger Brown will face Earl Averill, hitting just 188, does have 5 RBI. From the stretch, Brown brings the 0-2 pitch. Averill swings, this one, line drive, base hit, and Elmer Flick boggles the ball. Gehringer makes it in to score, so that will be an error, E9, on Hall of Famer Elmer Flick. And the 1930s get on the board first. All right. So, teacher and pupil on the same diamond. Arky Vaughan, who is considered one of the greatest shortstops in the game, tutored by the greatest shortstop in the game out here. So, Hannes Wagner, Arky Vaughan facing off. Here we go. Brown deals, 1-1 pitch. Vaughn swings, and they're hitting Three Finger Brown. 2 RBI single for Arky Vaughan, and 3 runs on the board here in the top of the first inning. Ducky Medwick now, 227, has a solo shot, 4 RBI. Arky Vaughan on at first. Brown deals, 1-1 pitch. Grounder. Wagner goes the short way to Lajoie to retire Vaughan and the side. So the 1930s put 3 on the board. We go to the bottom of the first. 1930s 3 in the 1900s. Coming to bat. And let's start it from around the horn this time. Lou Gehrig at first base. Charlie Gehringer at second. Arky Vaughan at short. Harlan Cliff will be catching. In the outfield, we got Joe Medwick, Earl Averill, and Paul Waner. Mickey Cochran behind the dish and on the mound. One of the most dominant left-handers. Arguably, maybe, arguably the greatest left-handed pitcher in baseball. When you look at his numbers, they're just absolutely ridiculous. Up there, of course, with great lefties, certainly, Sandy Koufax, Steve Carlton, Lefty Grove. These numbers were nuts. All right. Hannes Wagner to lead it off, hitting 278. Wagner with 4 home runs and 8 ribbies. Wagner leads things off here. Here's the pitch. 0-2 pitch. Gehring arranges to his right. Barehanded throw onto Lou Gehrig to retire the Flying Dutchman. Here's Chick Stahl hitting an anemic 0.77. 1-1 pitch. Stahl, little bouncer to Harlan Cliff. Room service bounce, but sets and throws, and they do just get him. So Cliff may have a millisecond more, and Stahl's on. Modern Relic says Lou Gehrig got him into fixture leagues in Allen Park Baseball, drafted him as a rookie in a historical league, and watched him develop into a mediocre singles hitter. Modern Relic says, I was not pleased. I can imagine. I don't think I would be either. That's the one guy you don't expect to hit a lot of singles is the Iron Horse. So was that like a sort of all-era type thing, or like a random debut, or what kind of league was that, Modern Relic? All right, here's Napoleon Lajoie batting with 2 outs and the bases empty. Lajoie, 263 average, 5 runs batted in. Lefty Grove brings it. 1-2 pitch. This one scorched to center field. Averill plays it on the short hop. First hit for the 1900s, and here's Buck Freeman hitting 175, but he's put 3 out of the park with 5 runs batted in. Throw over, Lajoie dives back ahead of Gehrig's tag. Grove peers in, has the sign from Mickey Cochran, and here's the pitch. Throw down, the slide, and Napoleon Lajoie has the stolen base. So with 2 out, potential first run for the 1900s on at second base. 1800s, 8 wins, 4 losses. In the 1930s, 6 wins and 6 losses. Freeman back in the box. The count 1 ball, no strikes. Freeman tapper back to the mound. Grove off to the left. Underhands it to Lou Gehrig to retire the 1900s. So, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. We played 1 in St. Louis. The 1930s lead the 1900s 3-0. Harlan Cliff will start things off here. Hard-hitting third baseman for the old St. Louis Browns. Off to just a 1-11 start here, though. It was a historical career replay, but with rookie drafts open. Okay. So was that, so that would be a little bit, or, because it would be fun, pardon me, with Out of the Park 26, because if you have, to have like using the player development tool, how that might have turned out, but still interesting. Gehrig as a singles hitter, yeah, that would be not a good thing. Although what would be worse, maybe having somebody like Rafael Belliard being a slugger. How about that? But you know what? With fictional leagues, like, you never know what's going to happen. So, all right. Here we go. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Harlan Cliff, good eye up there. He will take the trot down to first. So, Three-Finger Brown with his second walk of the game. And here's Lefty Grove. Lefty Grove 0 for 4 in the season. Here's the pitch. Grove gets a good bunt down. Brown looks to second, goes to first. Sacrifice successful. Harlan Cliff moves into scoring position. Back at the top of the order for Big Poison. Flew to right, riding a 12-game hitting streak. 2-1 pitch. Wayner, little slap job there to Napoleon Lajoie. Score that one 4-3 on the play. Harlan Cliff moves on to third. 2 down now. Charlie Gehringer walked back in the first. Three-Finger Brown deals. Gehringer swings in the first pitch. Wagner off to his right. Strong throw to Buck Freeman. And that will retire Gehringer on the side. We go to the bottom of the second inning here at St. Louis. 3-0 in favor of the 1930s. It will be former Boston great Jimmy Collins to lead things off here, followed by Elmer Flick and then George Stone. Jimmy Collins hitting an even 200, 3 home runs, 6 runs batted in. All right, Cochran sets up Robert Moses Lefty Grove with the 0-2 pitch, and Jimmy Collins, just looking at that fastball, could do nothing with it. 1 away. So no preconceived notions with fictional players. How about it? And when you're playing like in alternate reality modes and stuff like that, those could be a lot of fun too. Action PC has a really great version of it. All right, here's Elmer Flick, one of the forgotten Hall of Famers, unfortunately. But Flick off to a strong start, 359, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in for him. Lefty Grove lets it go. 0-2 pitch to Flick, and this one bounding ball to Arky Vaughan, routine 6-3 put out number 2. And here's George Stone now with his proper picture. George Stone 0 for 5 on the season. Grove deals 1-2 pitch, and Stone swing and a miss on a fastball. Second strikeout for Lefty Grove. We go to the top of the third. The score remains 3-0. All right, and Lou Gehrig lined to short back in the first. Brown deals 0-2 pitch, and Gehrig base hit over Lajoie's head into center field. So there's Gehrig listening to Modern Relic and actually hitting a single. All right, here's Mickey Cochran now, and he singled his last time up. Brown deals 1-2 pitch. Cochran slaps this one to third. Jimmy Collins to Lajoie, 5-4-3. Big double play, cleaning up the bases. Good play there by Jimmy Collins. All right, here's Earl Averill now batting with the bases empty and 2 away, and had a single, and Charlie Gehringer scored. Made it to second on the error. 0-1 pitch, Averill, hard hit ball into right field. Flick up with it. So Averill now aboard, 5th hit for the 1930s as Arky Vaughan steps in. RBI single scored Mickey Cochran. Last time up, full count. Arky Vaughan draws the walk. 3-finger Brown now with his 3rd free pass of the game. Brings up Ducky Medwick now. Medwick grounded short. Medwick swings on the first pitch. Wagner has it, and underhand toss to Napoleon Lajoie. That will retire the side. Bottom of the third, still 3-0. So the 1900s managing just 1 hit off of Lefty Grove thus far. Johnny Kling, 3-finger Brown in back of the top of the order. Hannes Wagner, no DH nonsense in this one. Johnny Kling, great catcher that first decade of the Chicago Cubs of the 20th century, with a 290 or 281 average and 6 runs batted in. Grove deals 0-2 pitch, and Johnny Kling, room service bounce. Arky Vaughan with the peg to Lou Gehrig. Mordecai not looking great tonight. He is not, but early in the season here for Brown, and hopefully he can settle things down. I love both of these teams, but my heart's with these dead ballers. All right, here is 3-finger Brown, 0 for 7. 1-2 pitch for Mordecai Peter Centennial Brown, and he gets himself a base hit. So there we go. All right, swinging around to the top of the order now for the Flying Dutchman. Grounded to second, back into first. Grove checks Brown more out of curiosity than anything. 0-2 pitch. Wagner pops this one foul right-hand side. Gehringer giving chase, but no, he gets it, reaches into the stands, and Hannes Wagner will foul out for out number 2. All right, here's Chick Stahl, one of MV's favorite players. He grounded to third, back in the first. And Lefty Grove with the 0-1 pitch, and Chick Stahl, soft liner right to Charlie Gehringer, and that will do it. 3 in the books here in St. Louis, the 1930s leading the 1900s, 3-0 in this old subset of the Baseball History Collection. Harlan Clift leading things off here. It'll be Clift, Grove, and then Paul Wainer due up for the 1930s. Harlan Clift walked last time. 3-finger Brown, as Modern Relic notes, not looking too sharp right now. Has walked 3, has yet to strike out at bat. 1-2 pitch, fly ball right field, Flick measuring it, and reels it in. 1 up, 1 down, and here is Lefty Grove. Grove last time, sacrifice. 0-2 pitch, and this time 3-finger Brown wasted no time there. Fastball in there for strike 3, back at the top of the order now. Paul Wainer looking to extend his 12-game hitting streak that he's on. Full count to Wainer, and Wainer will get to first, not in the way he would like. 4th walk issued by 3-finger Brown. So anybody feels they want to chime in and make any managerial changes for the 1900s, please feel free. Interaction, always a good thing. All right, here's Charlie Gehringer now. He's walked and grounded to short. Brown deals 1-0 pitch. Gehringer fly ball to Chick Stahl, who comes in about 6 paces and makes the catch. So the 1900s continue to be stymied by Lefty Grove as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. And it'll be Napoleon Lajoie to lead things off here. Buck Freeman and Jimmy Collins. So Lajoie singled back in the first. Lajoie, an absolute beast in the first McGreevy League. 2-2 pitch. Not this time. Lajoie, big swing and a miss. And Lefty Grove picks up his 3rd K. Here's Buck Freeman now. And he grounded out to Lefty Grove. Last time up. 0-2 pitch. And this time got caught looking a little crossed up there as Grove picks up strikeout number 4. 2 down now for 3rd baseman Jimmy Collins. He struck out back in the 2nd. 0-2 pitch, and he strikes out again. Lefty Grove in the groove. We go to the top of the 5th inning, still 3-0. So just recapping that little bit of scoring. So Charlie Gehringer walked. Gehrig lined out. Mickey Cochran singled, and Earl Averill RBI singled that scored Charlie Gehringer. And then Arky Vaughan with a single that scored Cochran and Earl Averill. So that is what we have thus far in this game. JT Dutch, it's been eons. How are you, my friend? It's great to see you. JT Dutch, man, oh man. You and I got to talk sometime, pal. World's getting interesting, is it not? JT Dutch, veritable encyclopedia of baseball, joining us tonight. Such a great member of this family. Hunter Relic says, Beatles, the more game I get in, the more issues with Out of the Park 21's graphics. Balls and players running beyond the park, a few other oddities as well. So 26 has gotten better in that respect. Now, as far as players running beyond the park, it doesn't, like, you'll notice that, especially you still see that in Out of the Park 26, unfortunately, occasionally with small ball parks. I guess apparently just the way the things are coded, Out of the Park baseball still has difficulty with small parks like Baker Bowl, and then parks that are deep, like the center or what have you, like the Polo Grounds, for instance. So you'll see a ball rolling all the way through the wall in the Polo Grounds, and a player's going to stop at second. And Mike Silva was talking about it. He believes that it has something to do with the coding in the game not being able to handle those deeper ballparks. And if you think about it, the 30 ballparks that come with the game, the 30 modern major league ballparks, none of them are as big as some of these, these old-time dead ballparks. But yeah, there's been a lot of improvements since Out of the Park 21, not just graphically, but there's so much more to the game. So yeah, no force outs at third. I am seeing them now, so interesting in a bad way. Yeah, conversation for another day. Absolutely, JT. Hope you're doing well. My Pirates, though we're out of contention, we put a hurting on your Dodgers. And I remember D. Scott Howard was so happy that the Dodgers were playing the Bucks, and we kind of put a smack on you guys. But in the grand scheme of things, it only gave us a little bit of and otherwise, well, our second half's been better. But, once again, we're out of contention. We were from opening day, really. But it's going to be an interesting World Series. I think Milwaukee has a legit chance, man. Although, should the Tigers make it, that's who I'll be rooting for. Yeah, Dodgers are struggling, and Pittsburgh Pirates just outplay them. Yeah, the Pirates are just, I don't know. I think there's just been a lot of clubhouse pep talk, and I've noticed they've been playing a lot better baseball ever since, although we didn't call them nutting out by name. Andrew McCutchen pretty much calling out Pittsburgh ownership. And Paul Skeens saying the other day in an interview, he said, "Look, we got nothing left to lose. We don't want to leave anything out there in the field." And I know one thing: if Bob Nutting doesn't realize how unpopular he is with Pirates fans, if he doesn't pony up the Bucks and Paul Skeens leaves Pittsburgh, um, it's gonna you'll feel the shock out there in Cali. I trust you. Trust me, JT Dutch. Um, it would just be all right. Anyhow, I hope that doesn't happen. All right, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Cochrane, Errol Averill due up here for the 1930s. Gehrig single back in the third. So Mordecai Brown, as Modern Relic lets us know, not looking too sharp. Larry Modelo said, he says, you did put a smack on us, meaning the Dodgers, between the Pirates and the Orioles, probably looking at the play-in series. At least I can afford some playoff tickets, says Larry. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, but you know what? A lot of times, teams are going to hit that little skid. And if anything, it makes the National League postseason a bit more interesting, I think. The imbalance of team payrolls, says JT Dutch, is the main reason I don't follow MLB much anymore these days. I would agree with you, except only to add, or to maybe, I'm getting too tired to find the words, my friend. So, clubs like the Pirates, and guys, I'm a Pirates fan. I'm really getting tired of the Pirates living sort of off the welfare, if you will, right? That sort of all this money that's going, where's it going? Spend some money. The Pittsburgh Pirates, this year, we achieved something quite dubious. So if you look at our all-time win-loss record, the Pirates in 2024, so this franchise started in 1887. We are in 2024. We are now below 500. Nutting just refuses to spend the money, and I mean, it's heartening to see smaller market teams like Milwaukee and Detroit in the thick of it, but owners like Bob Nutting, just bad stuff, right? Modern Relic says, I'll leave the stream playing, but if I don't make dinner, I'll waste. No, please go make dinner. We don't want you wasting away. Please, Modern Relic. So, manja. All right. Buon appetito. All right, here's Lou Gehrig now. And 2-1 pitch. Gehrig sends this one to second base. Lajoie diving, stop, and throwing from the knees onto Buck Freeman. So 1 out. Napoleon Lajoie, if you just do it in the field, do it at the plate. All right, Mickey Cochrane 1 for 2. Grounded into a double play his last time up. Cochrane swings, and this one out to left field. This gets down for a base hit, little sinking liner. George Stone gets it into Hannes Wagner. So Cochrane on, and here's Earl Averill. Perfect 2 for 2 today, including an RBI back in the first to score. Charlie Gehrig. 1-1 pitch. Averill swings, and Lajoie is going to go to Freeman. They're not going to try to turn the 2 ball. So Cochrane moves into scoring position and brings up Arky Vaughan. JT Dutch says they took down the Clemente 21 mark on the outfield wall, and the fans spoke up and got that rectified. Yeah, we have, but we haven't been in the postseason since 2015, which in baseball is an eternity, right? So that's 10 years now. And we haven't been in the World Series since 1979. So Seattle Mariners never been in the World Series. The only other team in baseball now with a longer World Series drought is the Cleveland Indians. 1948 for them. Cities very close together too. I don't know, with Cleveland better ownership, but it's getting so that for Pirates fans, it's the idea of having a great winning baseball club for many of us who don't even remember the lumber companies and such like that, in the 1970s. And 1979, a long time ago. JT, it took the Pirates until August to do anything to commemorate the centenary of the 1925 World Championship Pirates. The Pirates have a real lack of history with their own franchise. So Indians went to the series in '97 and 2016. They did not win. So I should qualify that. We haven't won the World Series since '79, and the Indians haven't won since 1948. Is there anybody even in this community that would have old enough 1940 for the Indians? I don't think anybody here. I know none of our Indians fans here are certainly old enough to have seen them win their last World Championship. So, all right, Arky Vaughan bats with Mickey Cochran on a second, 2 down, and 3-0 your score. Brown deals 0-1 pitch. Vaughan swings, and Brown will feed it to Buck Freeman coming off the mound for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 5th, still 3-0. All right, Elmer Flick grounded to short back in the second. It'll be Flick, Stone, and Kling do up for the 1900s. 1-2 pitch, and Elmer Flick is strikeout victim number 6 as this curveball catches the outside corner by Lefty Grove. All right, here's George Stone now. Struck out back in the second. Lefty Grove now set down 6 batters. 0-2 pitch, and Stone hits this one out to center field. Averill on his horse makes the grab going to his right. So quickly 2 up and 2 down now. Johnny Kling, 0-1. Grounded out to Arky Vaughan back in first. 2-2 pitch, and Johnny Kling goes down swinging. No runs, hits, or errors. We go to the top of the 6th. It's still 3-0. All right. So it'd be Ducky Medwick here, favorite of the 1934 Detroit Tigers. We've talked about that story before. Judge Landis begging the St. Louis Cardinals great to not take the field in the 9th inning, but Medwick withstood the glass bottles and everything and went out to left field in the 9th inning of the final game of the 1934 World Series. So Medwick, both times, has forced Arky Vaughan at second, grounding to short. Brown deals 1-1 pitch, and fly ball by Medwick, and Elmer Flick has it on the track. 1 up, 1 down, and here comes Harlan Clift, 1 for 2, flown out and walked. 0-1 pitch, Clift sends this to center field. Stone back, looks up, this is gone. And the 1930s here in the top of the 6th give Lefty Grove another run to work with. It is 4-0. So Harlan Clift, remember the St. Louis Browns, hard hitting. So 22 home runs in this file. Clift goes yard, 4-0. Lefty Grove will come into the bottom of the 6th inning and with a 2-hit shutout and had 4 runs, not too bad, against the first place team in this league. 1-2 pitch, and Lefty Grove comes up empty. And back at the top of the order, Paul Wainer walked his last time, trying to extend a 12-game winning streak. Big poison in the box. Brown studies the sign from Johnny Kling. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and Paul Wainer is going to walk again. Wainer looking a little frustrated. We told a great story that we read in the Baseball Digest a couple weeks ago about how Paul Wainer refused his official 3,000th hit. So that was a fun story, and he actually, of course, did and exceeded 3,000 hits, but hit number 3,000, he actually had them refuse it. And Eddie Yost actually tells the story because he was involved in the play. And just so a quick thing, I don't work for them either, but recently subscribed to digital version of Baseball Digest. Guys, $38 a year, and you have access to all the back issues of Baseball Digest. So just great stuff. I urge you to drop the $38 and just get it. It's great. Larry says a lot of balls in the air off Three Finger Brown in this one. He was a ground ball guy. Absolutely. Absolutely right, Larry. And we're not seeing, of course, Three Finger Brown. We're not seeing a lot of that wicked curveball that he had. Just curious here. Let's see who we have. Brown gets in any more trouble here because actually, really, the only pitcher not available would be Christy Mathewson, but we got Rube Waddell, Eddie Plank, Matt Rucker. Because in this league, you know, I mean, with this old team, these guys are pretty much all starters. Wouldn't mind putting Addy Joss in, Vic Willis, George Mullen, Tex Pruitt. So we're waiting if anybody wants to make a pitching change, we will. But let's make a mound trip here and see how Mordecai. He says he's doing strong, just not having a sharp day out there. But you're absolutely right about Three Finger Brown. Those great matchups when the Giants would play the Cubs. And Mordecai Brown, at the end of it all, throughout their careers, he won one more game against Mathewson in all those matchups between the Cubs and the Giants. All right, let's bring in Rube Waddell. Let's switch things up. We got a lefty at the plate. All right. So Rube Waddell, let's bring him in from the Punxsutawney area of Pennsylvania. Now let's see. Waddell, much more of a strikeout artist. Let's see if Waddell can keep these 1930s bats quiet now. Let's let Rube do his warm-up pitches. I love that story in the Ken Burns baseball documentary where I guess Connie Mack had come by train to get Rube Waddell in Punxsutawney. All of these people were at the train platform, and Connie Mack was terrified that the people in Punxsutawney were upset, and there was going to be like this riot that they were taking Rube Waddell away. And actually, the Punxsutawney's mayor had stepped up to say, "We are so thankful you're taking him off our hands." So, a great pitcher. I know all the stories about him, of course. We all do. Of getting distracted by puppies and fire engines and all those other things. But contemporaries say that he was just wicked. And they said, even though Rube was a nice guy, they said you never wanted to get Rube Waddell mad because then he would really bear down. So, but again, great strikeout artist. So the lefty has finished his warm-up pitches, and here is Charlie Gehringer. So he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Waddell 0-2 pitch. Gehringer gets good contact on this one. This is going to be a big old loud out to Elmer Flick. So that retires the side. And we're going to allow Rube Waddell to go ahead and hit for himself. Why the hell not? Here we go. 1-2 pitch, and Waddell strikes out. Back at the top of the order now, Honus Wagner not having a good day. He's grounded out and popped out. Lefty Grove deals 1-2 pitch, and now Wagner completes the trifecta by striking out. So 2 up, 2 down now. And here's Chick Stahl. Chick Stahl nothing for 2. Grove deals. Grove just dominant, picks up strikeout number 10. That ends the inning. We go to the top of the 7th, 4-0 in favor of the 1930 squad. Thank you for hanging in, guys. We had some trouble with this early in the inning, and I actually had to restart this project. And happily, it came out pretty close to what it was. But again, any Action PC experts, let me know. Wiped out one team and tried cleaning the league, looking for corrupt files, and it was this 1900s team that got wiped out, and I have no idea. I've never seen that, and I've been playing Action PC baseball since 2017, so never saw a weird bug like that. I've seen a lot of bugs in this game, but not that. All right, anyhow, Lou Gehrig, 1 for 3, will lead things off against Rube Waddell. Here we go. 1-2 pitch. Lou Gehrig strikes out. 91-mile-an-hour fastball by Rube Waddell. All right, Mickey Cochran, 2 for 3. Waddell deals. Full count. Cochran sends this one out to left field. George Stone has it in his sights, in his glove. Out number 2. Earl Averill, good day at the plate here. 2 for 3, including an RBI. Waddell deals full count, and Earl Averill goes down swinging. 7th inning stretch time. It's 4-0 in favor of the 1930s. We'll be right back. All right, bottom of the 7th, and Lefty Grove right now pitching a 2-hitter. Napoleon Lajoie leading things off. Buck Freeman waits on deck. Lajoie in this game singled. So one of only 2 hits off of Lefty Grove. 2-2 pitch. Lajoie connects. Fly ball deep to left field. Joe Medwick looks up, and this is gone. Napoleon Lajoie gets one back here in the bottom of the 7th. It's now 4-1 in favor of the 1930s. And here's Buck Freeman, nothing for 2. Grounded out and struck out. Lefty in the box. Lefty on the mound. Lefty-lefty matchup. 1-2 pitch. Line drive over Gehrig's head into right field. Base hit as Paul Waner comes up with it. I don't know why they're calling it a poor play on Paul Waner. As Buck Freeman remains at first. That's what you want, right? All right, here is Jimmy Collins. JT Dutch says, I think Rube might have had ADD, yeah, or been on the autistic spectrum to go along with his alcoholism. I think you're absolutely right, JT Dutch. And apparently also just, you know, and with all that, right? What a way to go out to. Died, I mean, poor Rube. So the universe has a sense of humor. This great pitcher dies on April Fool's Day, 1914. But he dies helping survivors of a flood. So a great, colorful story, and one of the great arms of baseball, certainly. I mean, you know, strikeout records that held for lefties for decades. And I think it's kind of a shame that Waddell is only remembered by more casual baseball fans, if at all, for his eccentricities as opposed to his prowess as a pitcher. Yeah, 37 years old. All right, here's Jimmy Collins. Jimmy Collins, another player, very, very forgotten. We are going to start the thing again on the channel where we're going to pick a random player in the game and read about him. Mike Silva was saying that he really misses that in these broadcasts, so I do want to get back to that. Jimmy Collins has struck out twice. All right. Lefty Grove down, giving up a run here in the bottom of the 7th, but he seems unfazed, although Grove with a wicked temper. He might have some words to say to Paul Waner after the game. 1-0 pitch, and this one, tapper to Arky Vaughan, 6-4. Hard slide, though, by Buck Freeman will break that one up. And here's Elmer Flick. Elmer Flick, who once famously got into a dust-up with Napoleon Lajoie and kicked his arse pretty much. Flick was a big, tough dude. Anyhow, Flick, 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and struck out. Throw over. Jimmy Collins dives back under Gehrig's tag. Gets up, refuses to dust himself off. Grove peers in. Cochran sets up. 0-1 pitch. And this one the other way by Elmer Flick. And at the track, Ducky Medwick makes the grab. So Jimmy Collins gets back to first. So 2 down now for George Stone. Johnny Kling waits on deck. And I think we're going to go to our bench and see what we got in left field. Oh, my goodness. What do we got? So Bobby Wallace, best hit percent chance. And it's Bill Bradley. Oh, my God. You know what? I'm going to bring in Jimmy Shecker because that way I'm not going to waste a lefty in that way. I'm just going to bring in Jimmy Sheckard anyhow because I like him. So Jimmy Sheckard will pinch hit, and here we go. Collins on first, 2 away. Got a lot of Cubs in this game now. Fly ball, center field. Earl Averill has it off a tall blade of grass. We go to the top of the 8th inning, and we will make sure that Jimmy Sheckard will stay in to play left field. So there we go. Well, we would have had 3 Cubs. All right, so Rube Waddell now in the top of the 8th will face Arky Vaughan, Joe Medwick, and Harlan Clift. Vaughn with an RBI in this game. He is 1 for 2 and has a walk. 2-2 pitch. And this one, hard liner and a leaping catch by Napoleon Lajoie. So his second great play of the game. Ducky Medwick, nothing for 3. Grounded out twice and has flown out. Yep, Sheckard was on the 06 Cubs, who won 116 and 36. And those, JT, I don't know, have you heard, speaking of the 06 Cubs, because they're like the number 1 seed, have you heard us talk at all about Mike Silva's crazy, huge project? So get your head around this, my brother. Mike Silva has created a tournament using Out of the Park 26 that includes every team in Major League Baseball from 1901 to 2024. And the number 1 seed with the 1906 Cubs to go into. I mean, I guess the project is still going on, and we're going to have him on to talk about it. But yeah, you've heard about it. It's just insane. I love it, though. I love it. Mike puts such painstaking work into it, and he's talking to me about it on their Discord, and in the Fields of Dreams, or whatever they call it now. I still call it the Fields of Dreams Discord. And he was saying that just how much he just felt even more immersed learning about so many players, but how Mike pulled it off. I can't wait for you guys to see the next Diamonds and Dice podcast. Just brilliant stuff. All right, here's Ducky Medwick batting with 1 down and nobody on. And Waddell gives up a walk to Ducky Medwick. All right, 1 away, Harlan Clift, who homered his last time up. 1-2 pitch, and Harlan Clift misses on the Waddell fastball. He was swinging for the scoreboard out there in left center. 3rd strikeout for Rube Waddell in the game. 2 down. Here's Lefty Grove. He's whiffed twice in this game. JT Dutch says, yes, the 1906 Cubs are a fair number 1 seed, despite not winning the World Series that year. Yep, and upset by... Of course, they were the West Siders then, the 1906 Cubs, and upset by the South Side Hitless Wonders, largely in the pitching of Ed Walsh. But yeah, what a great, great team. Of course, many people talk about the 1927 Yankees, but you really, really have to put the 1906 Cubs in that conversation for possibly the greatest team ever. I would also, I think, make an argument for the 1917 White Sox. Arnold Hunter says hello to everybody. How you doing, Arnold? Great to see you, man. Always great to see Arnold. So also shout out, it was great to see Herb Pilgrim earlier tonight. Longtime member of the family, going way back. All right, here we go. So how about this? And we can only do it now because of technology, or ever since Cards and Dice Baseball even was invented too. Rube Waddell and Lefty Grove in the same game. How cool is that? 3-0 pitch, and Waddell loses Grove. So look at this. All right, so 2 on. Paul Wainer, again, we've been saying all game, riding this 12-game hitting streak. What a way to extend it would be for him right now. He has walked his last 2 times up. Waddell studies the signs from Kling and really doesn't give a damn. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Should have listened. Wainer has walked 3 times in the game. Waddell has walked and loaded. And it brings up Charlie Gehringer, another lefty. Let's look at our bullpen here. While I love Rube Waddell, things are starting to look a little bit dicey here. But that being said, looking at this batter pitcher analysis right now, Waddell's really bringing in somebody else at this point statistically. We're going to stay with Rube for see if he can get this last out because he comes up second when we go to the. Oh, we're only in the seventh. God, jeez. All right, Waddell deals 2-1 pitch. Fly ball left field. This one high, but not deep enough. Jimmy Sheckard makes the catch. So JT Dutch saying that he thinks 1917 was probably Joe Jackson's worst season on a great, great ball club, too. How about it? So Waddell gets out of a mess. We go to the bottom of the eighth. Waddell will not bat for himself. He's waiting on deck. All right, here's Johnny Kling. Johnny Kling has, he's an 0 for 2, struck out his last time up. Lefty Grove has whiffed 10. 0-2 pitch. Make that 11. Make that 11. Grove just absolutely dominant. So one run in this game, and that was Napoleon Lajoie. Led off the seventh with a home run against Lefty Grove, and that's been it. All right, and we need a pinch hitter for Rube Waddell. All right, guys, let's see. I think we're going to go with Bill Bradley. All right, here we go. So Bradley making his first plate appearance of the season. Grove deals 0-1 pitch. Bradley and routine ground ball, but close play. And Vaughn Strong was thrown, but Bradley be able to get down the line there quickly. They do just get him. So 2 outs now, and Hannes Wagner not doing so well in the game, and it's not too many times you think about maybe going to the bench. Let's see if we got anything likely here. So, I mean, we could bring in Bobby Wallace, and actually we gain a little tiny bit on defense. What say you, chat? Give Bobby Wallace an at-bat here. Wagner just not doing a good job today. 0 for 3. Looking at lefties, there's just no contest. So could bring in Jimmy Williams. Sorry, just lighting one up here, kiddies. Don't do what I do. All right, Larry Modello says, giving a bat. Hey, Mike, how you doing? He says Bobby Wallace. JT Dutch is going to pull Wagner. All right, Wagner stays in the game. 2 votes for Wagner. Bobby Wallace, hell of a shortstop, though. All right, Wagner's, we say 0 for 3. So the only thing as far as outs he hasn't done is he hasn't flown out yet. So he's grounded out, popped out, and struck out. My favorite baseball player of all time, Hannes Wagner. 1-1 pitch, and this one is just going to be another ground out. So Hannes Wagner is done. We go to the top of the 9th inning, and we need a new pitcher. And let's, you know what? Lefties. Let's go with Gettysburg Eddie Plank, I think. Nah, let's go with Knapp Rucker. Let's bring in Knapp Rucker to pitch. All right. So Rucker on the season, 2 wins, 1 losses. Here we go. JT Dutch calls Rucker. So we got a 6-second delay here, or 5-second delay, because I'm using a different platform. So, all right, here we go. So it'll be Lou Gehrig, Mickey Cochran, and Earl Averill do up. Gehrig 1 for 4. Knapp Rucker has finished his warm-up pitches, and we are ready to go. 1-0 pitch. Gehrig sends this one. This one is gone. Didn't even have time to call it. Lou Gehrig, known as a line drive home run hitter, and that one out of here in a hurry. 5-1 in favor of the 1930s. Old Brooklyn Dodgers, Nap Rucker. So got JT Dutch some representation in here with a couple Dodgers. Actually, the great Arky Vaughan, toward the end of his career, played for Brooklyn. This would be, of course, when he was still a Pirate in this one, but yeah. All right. So here we go. Black Mike here. Rucker deals 2-0 pitch and fly ball out to center field. Chick Stahl makes the grab. 1 down. No shame in giving one up to Lou Gehrig. No, never any shame to give one up to the Iron Horse. All right, 1 away for Earl Averill now. He struck out back in the 7th. 1-1 pitch. Averill taps this one to short. Wagner backs up a few paces. Strong throw, but they do not get Averill. They do not get Averill, so it could be that Wagner goes back maybe about a half step too much. But that strong throw, not enough to get Averill. So Averill, not exactly known for blazing speed, but does have a steal this season. All right, brings up Arky Vaughan now. Arky Vaughan, 1 for 3, so doing better than his mentor in terms of batting anyhow. 0-1 pitch, Vaughan swings, bounding ball, Freeman to Wagner, back to Freeman, 3-6-3, inning double play. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Lefty Grove looking for a complete game win, and he will face Chick Stahl, Napoleon Lajoie, and Buck Freeman. Challenge the call, says Larry Modelo. All right. So Grove can pitch about another 900 innings here, so he's doing really, really well, averaging 92 in that fastball in his last 5 pitches. Chick Stahl 0 for 3. Who do we got in the bench? With this game pretty much decided, let's bring in Bobby Wallace to pinch hit. Why not? Come on, Bobby Wallace. Again, a great documentary on Bobby Wallace you can check out on YouTube. A lot of people have whinged and whined that he does not belong in the Hall of Fame, and he really, really does. I never doubted it, but I think watching this documentary, for those of you who don't think Bobby Wallace belongs there, when you watch this, he definitely such a high caliber player and deserving of the Hall of Fame. All right, here we go. Bobby Wallace in the box now, getting a chance to pinch hit. Lefty Grove deals. Wallace swings. Grounder to Arky Vaughan. Shortstop to shortstop. Vaughan to Gehrig. Bobby Wallace with good speed nonetheless, cut down by the strong throw for Arky Vaughan. Here's Napoleon Lajoie, home run in this game. Grove deals. Lajoie swings. This one, Tapper to second. Gehringer to Gehrig. 2 up, 2 down. And it's up to Buck Freeman now. We're not going to pull Buck Freeman. He has a little bit of pop. So JT Dutch agreeing that Wallace should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, fine player. 1-1 pitch. This is your ball game. Tapper back to the mound. Lefty Grove just demonstrated what he did best. And you play any season replays with this guy and whatever. Absolute dominance, 5-1. So let's look at a quick game recap. The 1930s improved to 7-6. The 1900s fall to 8-5. Lefty Grove improves to 1-2. And Three Finger Brown falls to 1-2. For the 1900s, the only real highlight, Napoleon Lajoie goes 3 for 4 with a home run and a stolen base. For the 1930s, Lou Gehrig goes 2 for 5 with a home run. Earl Averill, good day for him, went 3 for 5. And Harlan Clift went 1 for 3 with a home run. So pitching, though, Lefty Grove goes the distance. Scatters 4 hits, 1 earned run, and that was the Napoleon Lajoie home run, and he fanned 11. So his ERA now at 2.77, faced 31 batters. Three Finger Brown just not on his game today. 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, a home run, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. Rube Waddell worked 2 1/3. Walked 3, struck out 3, but held him scoreless. Nap Rucker came in and gave up a home run. So your player of the game obviously is going to be Lefty Grove, and indeed it was. So there we go. And that is it. Yeah, only 23 balls out of 126 pitches for Lefty Grove. So we have us a well, what can we say here? The 1960s now. I'm sharing first place with the 1910 squad, and the 1910 squad's really, really tough. So each of these teams at 9-3. The 1990s and the 1900s bringing up second and third respectively at 8-4 and 8-5. Then we have the 1940s and 1970s, each at 7-5. The 1930s at 7-6, and then at 6-6, the 2000s, and then everybody else under 200. The 1920s severely, severely underperforming, guys, at just 2-10. And let's look. Let's see if we can look at some stats here and maybe find out why. What's going on with you guys? You know, when you've got, let's look at the replay stats here because I'm just kind of curious what's going on. So Babe Ruth is doing fine. He's got 5 home runs so far. The Raja with 4, but that batting average, meh. Pretty powerful lineup, but what are they not doing here? It's got to be on their pitchers here, and indeed it is. Indeed it is. So Stan Kovaleski has 1 win, and Eparixi the other. And Eparixi at 1-2, Kovaleski at 1-1, and yeah. So Wilbur Cooper 0-3 to start the season so far. Alan Russell had to have been called in on some sort of relief assignment here. So the 1920s, the pitching letting them down. No, Babe Ruth is only on 1 roster. So, but he's listed here. He's also on as a pitcher, although I'll probably inactivate him as a pitcher. But yeah, he's, I don't think he's been put in for. He is rated by Dave Cook Sports as a pitcher, but no. So I'm guessing that if he ever does a 2010s, but Ohtani is still pitching and hitting, what have you. But no, Babe Ruth, actually, I could just pretty much just inactivate him, just so he doesn't come in to pitch, because he really didn't. From what I understand, I think he pitched like a couple innings in the 1930s for the Yankees, but I don't think he did any pitching in the 1920s. So, yep, that's it. So now we know what the 1920s are doing wrong. Let's have a quick look at what the 1910s are doing right. So Walter Johnson, Hippo Vaughn, and Ed Walsh. Look at that. Walter Johnson 2-1, Hippo Vaughn undefeated 2-0, and Ed Walsh at 3-0. So and Doc Crandall in 1 start went 0-1. Hitting wise, you wouldn't expect a lot of home runs, but Ed Kenichi with 4, Sherry McGee with 3, a man who should be in the Hall of Fame. Sherry McGee also hitting 302 right now. So they're getting it done with pitching defense. Grover Cleveland Alexander. Was Alexander in the 1920s? We got to knock him out of there. So did Dave Cook make a mistake? Oh my goodness gracious. If he is, we're going to deactivate him. Nope, he's not here. So Alexander is just going to be in the 1910s. So make sure he's not accidentally in the 1900s. He shouldn't be, obviously. Look at pitchers. Nope. Just the 1910s. Oh, you were talking about his record, right? Actually, where is he? Strange. Oh yeah, there he is. So he's 1-0. Yeah, undefeated. Yep. And another sad story, right? So here's a guy, right? Finally gets his life. I mean, grew up, alcoholics, and he himself is an alcoholic. Hit by a ball in some ball game, and bam, right? His gets double vision, and one day it just clears up. And then cruising along, 1915, arguably his greatest season, and then off to World War I. Actually, unlike Ty Cobb and Christy Mathewson, he actually, Alexander fought in the trenches, came back shell shocked, and then the drinking, and yeah, very very sad story. In fact, when he was inducted to the Hall of Fame, he was kind of sort of bitter about it. The man was, you could see the way he was dressed, pretty much threadbare. Yes, he did. He did fight in the most brutal conflict in world history. One that I think is a war that is not remembered as well as it should be, even by Americans. The rate of loss in that war was absolutely appalling, appalling. World War II had more casualties, but World War One was just plain old evil, wasn't it? Yeah, he needed a pension more than a Hall of Fame plaque. That's absolutely true. And I've said it many times in this channel. Yeah, couldn't eat the plaque. He said that. You're right, JT. And the other thing too, man. I mean, that performance in the 1926 World Series, that was just guts. And I mean, you know, Alexander is by the standards of the day back then, and everything else that he had to deal with was old. And again, he's just old, shell shocked, hung over, and comes in, and guts, just absolute guts. So for our friend there, Flip Cannon, say what you will about some of these older players, these guys, guts. Addy Joss, another story. People didn't realize the pain and what he dealt with. I mean, meningitis. What a great pitcher. But yeah, unforgettable performance. I think the same could be said for Walter Johnson in the 1924 World Series. But yeah, Grover Cleveland Alexander. Um, what a great, just still, he's one of those, as Big Clue would talk about, one of those sort of top tier inner circle Hall of Famers, one of the greats of all times. Just incredible, as great as anyone ever. Yeah, short career, but and very much loved too. I mean, so okay, everybody knows the story. Joss, of course, when he died, they, there's a big benefit game that raised something like $10,000 or $15,000 for Joss's widow, and in 1911, that's a lot of money. Just looking at these numbers here in the replay stats, playing out pretty amazingly here. Walter Johnson averaging 9 strikeouts per 9 innings, so that's just over 3 right now. But wow, huh? Yeah. So I think Joss still, there was a stat that I just read about him, and it was in baseball. I think it was Baseball Digest, something about Addy Joss. There's some record about WAR, or is it his ERA or something like that? Doesn't he have like the lowest or second lowest career ERA or something like that? I think it is. I'm just reading about Joss just recently, and I know his ERA, if it's not the lowest in baseball history, for Hall of Famer, it's one of the lowest. Sure wish what a great player he was. So I want to address a little bit about what happened earlier tonight with Flip. Just for, I don't want people to think I'm being petty, or I don't want to listen to arguments against older baseball. I'm fine with that, actually. Depends on where you put your inning threshold, says JT Dutch. So So Flip's first time in here was pretty marked by a lot of trolling. It really, really was. So one of you guys kindly just kind of gave him a little bop in the head, but I told him, be welcome back, just be respectful, and the one thing I don't like is we have created a community here, and my issue with him wasn't his maybe bizarre as some of the arguments where it's not that. I think it's good for discussion, but when you start using, you're just calling people by their last name, things like that, to me that's kind of a sign of disrespect, unless you're buds and stuff like that. So I just wanted to nip it in the bud. So Flip, I know that I, put the silence on you, but I did not ban you from this channel. Takes really a lot for me to do that. I don't want to do that. I would like to continue the conversation, but the last time I warned you, and I'm going to warn you again, please be civil when you're here. This is a really good group of people, really good. And I don't use the term family lightly. I mean, I've never met any of these people, um, I mean, in person, but JT and I have talked sometimes. One night we were long hours into the night, and Ken Castro and D Scott, all these guys, man, all these guys. So, just man, just be civilized in here, okay? And you'll be welcome in, all right. But if it's going to be the next time, then you're just out, all right. This is really a fun place to hang out if you love baseball, and we don't have to agree on baseball, what we feel about it, which is better, modern, older baseball, whatever. The idea is just we all hang out and just celebrate this game that we love and get away from kind of the madness of the world, if you will, huh? So that's what was going on there, you know. But his argument, so I'll put that out, and I mean, I think it's certainly worth talking about, and it's a debate that goes on and on and on and on. That so earlier in the night, our first game, we did just an exhibition game doing the 1936 Yankees versus the 2004 Boston Red Sox. And so he said that the 1930, well, he's actually the 1934 Yankees, and I pointed out, well, we're playing 36 Yankees, but nonetheless, he said the 1934 Yankees would have zero, in caps, chance of you know ever winning a game, pretty much, against the Boston Red Sox of 2004. And we're kind of like, well, zero chance. I even used a little American football reference, saying, well, on any given Sunday. But he was talking about because the game is faster, pitchers throw harder, what have you, and on and on and on. And a lot of those arguments I've heard. There's some good counter arguments, and certainly even Paul Fay was gracefully, getting and agreeing with the argument. So it wasn't like that. I don't want anybody thinking I got angry at him because he was, there are two YouTubers on here that do bash old baseball just straight out, and have never really made compelling arguments as to why. But then Paul also mentions that, to compare eras really isn't fair. And I will always contend that these players from the 1900s, 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, in their time, they were the best in their time, the great players, and that you had 16 teams and you didn't make it. You were going back to digging ditches, or you were playing back when they were doing minor league ball and it was Class D ball, when you were somewhere out in some plain or some mountain town in Wyoming or whatever. But my counter usually to that is, had the players from the first three, maybe even four decades of the 20th century, and we include the 19th century as well, had they understood kinesiology and modern nutrition and training methods, I think you had great talents in people like Lefty Grove and Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner. I often wonder how many more home runs Babe Ruth might have hit. So, I believe it was Dwayne Martz said, pitchers now they're not pitching, they're throwing. And this gentleman, Flip Cannon, says, we know they're throwing 98 miles an hour. Nobody's throwing 98 miles an hour for 6 innings every pitch. They're not. So, ultimately, it's an argument that we can't really ever settle, because none of us ever saw those players play. And yeah, certainly, but were they the best in their time? Yes. And does that make them any less than the players now? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So JT Dutch saying, you can't compare 1934 to 2004. It's just too different. You can only hold players and teams accountable. How do they compare to their peers? Absolutely. Modern Relic's back, in case anybody was wondering. He says, the breakfast skillet today. Oh, nice, man. There you go. Larry Modello says in the early 1900s, all the best athletes played baseball. Impossible to compare. Absolutely. And Monterelli continues. He says his breakfast is to die for. Well, let's hope not literally. She's doing one of those English fry ups, man. Wow. Anyhow, I hadn't planned on, I wasn't going to do any baseball tonight. And then we did a game and then we did another game. So I'm hoping next, I don't know if you next Saturday, probably next Sunday night. Um, Aaron Reed, just remind me if you can hold off on your ball game, or maybe if we start early tomorrow night, you can do the final game of your 2000 series you wanted to do on this channel. And I'm very flattered that you want to do that. Guys, thank you very much. It's been a long, strange trip tonight, that's for sure. I don't know what caused the crash in this. I wish there was. I probably should back up seasons. I've never had to do that in Action PC Baseball, but maybe I should back this thing up. Anyhow, all right, we'll be looking for you, JT. And man, you and I gotta talk sometime off the old YouTube. You know, just catch up, man. So hope everything is well, and best of luck going down to your to everybody's team who's in contention. But um, JT and Larry both Dodger fans, yeah. So best of luck to your Dodgers going down the stretch. I think the National League's going to be pretty exciting. Just checking the standings here, because I think I'm going to be rooting American League this year. Oh my God, the Brewers absolutely whooped the crap out of the Pirates tonight. Ah well, that's all right. We've been out of it anyhow. Let me see. So what's it looking like? So the Yankees not out of it. So a New York LA series is still a possibility. Um, Boston kind of Boston still in the race there. The Tigers pretty much I don't know looking good there. So the American League still kind of could go anyway at this point. But the Phillies. So what do we got here? Phillies 7-up on the Mets. The Brewers 7.5 on the Cubbies. Uh, the Padres, though, man, boy, they've been playing tough. So the Dodgers have had to kind of stave off those guys. San Francisco, they're done. They're cooked. So 2025 tightening up as we go into the final. Can you guys believe it? We're in the final 3 weeks of the baseball season. Oh, absolutely, JT, and thank you for coming in, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys. So best of luck if you're fans of any of those teams: Detroit, Los Angeles, San Diego, Philadelphia, New York, Boston, whatever. Best of luck, and we'll catch you guys. If not tomorrow night, later on in the week. Oh wait, Larry has more to contribute here. He says, "Lucky the Padres been sticking it up like the Dodgers lately." So you guys are kind of keeping pace with each other. I mean, San Diego is kind of like Detroit. Like, so last year, right? Nobody saw Detroit coming. And so this year I was expecting Detroit, but I didn't know. I mean, San Diego playing some tough baseball. And there's another team with a little bit of a drought, too. So not as bad as the Pirates. But I don't know. So between Dodgers and Yankees, I hope the Yankees get knocked out. I'm sorry, Dodger or Yankee fans. But I'm just, you know, Dodgers will be fine, but I want the Yankees out of the series. I would like to see a Dodgers Tiger series. That'd be fun. No offense, Larry and JT, but I'll be rooting for the Tigers, even though I'm a National Leaguer. Got to root for the Tigers, man. I like that. I like that franchise a lot too. Um, Milwaukee Tigers. Then I would love to see the Tigers just beat the living shit out of the out of the Milwaukee Brewers, man. NL Central, and everybody hates them. So Larry Modello says that the Dodgers have Colorado this week at home. They need a sweep. So D. Scott Howard was all happy when you guys played us, and we told that story earlier. So but you should do pretty well against Colorado, though they beat us up. Doesn't take much to beat up the Pirates. although second half we're doing better. Milwaukee, you know what? Yeah, top of the National League Central. I still think they have the best record in baseball. But let's face it, the NL Central isn't what it used to be, baby. It's a weak division. So, going to be fun. It is going to be a fun postseason. Can't wait to see it. Um, but I don't want to make any. I've said who I'd like to see, but every time I make a fearless prediction about who's going to be in the series, it ends up getting completely bollocksed. Modern Relic says, Beatles, I know you're less a fan of the modern era. I'm just curious what era. So, probably more recent than you might think. My interest, as far as modern baseball, is not so much. I mean, because I certainly respect the athleticism of these guys. I mean, come on, the most difficult team sport in the world, and you're even good enough to make it to the majors. You're the elite, right? Um, I would have to really say probably mid to late 1990s was really really heavily invested in baseball. I'm in the mid 19, 2000s, still kind of following it. Of course, my Bucks doing pretty good in the early 2010s. So, um, but I have to say that it actually had a lot to do with the events of 2020 and how baseball has just become this. The limited throwovers, getting rid of the shift, having the ghost runner. Um, that's my main reason, Modern Relic, for not being a huge fan of today's game. Um, so yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I would say the 1990s would be the decade. And even though I'm a dead ball guy, and you guys know that in 19th century, I think that the best decade in baseball, and I'd be willing to discuss this with anybody or argue it, debate it, right? I think the 1970s was probably, just looking at history, the best all around decade in baseball. You had power, you had speed, you had pitching. Um, you know, and yeah, so I think the 1970s probably, if I were to introduce somebody to baseball, that knew nothing about it, I would say, here, man, watch some of these videos of some 1970s baseball. I think it was probably the greatest decade in baseball history. I don't know what you guys think about that. Be nice to talk about, just for a chin wag. What's your era of baseball? Why is it your favorite? Um, and even though dead ball is my favorite, I think 1970s is, you look at, just look at how the game was played, and I would love to see baseball um, go back to the 1970s. So Larry, saying here, he says late 60s with Lower Mound was fun. Yeah, 1968, Bob Gibson loved that 1.12 earned run average. Denny McLain winning 31 games. Yeah, that was the late 60s. Of course, some people would say the 1930s, the big offense year. That ridiculous number of RBIs. What was 190 RBI put up by Hack Wilson in 1930? So Ken Castro, he's a 19th century guy. So, but I do love the game, and you know what? Even as much as I hate what Rob Manfred and company has done to it, it's still baseball, and I still love it, and I will always love the game until they American footballize it. Then I'll just play it on here and just ignore what's going on. So, but for you guys that have seen, and very few of you here are old enough to probably even seen baseball in the 1950s or even the 60s, and if you were little kids in the 1960s. So think about the guys that were our elders and stuff like that, that saw baseball in the 1930s, saw Joe DiMaggio playing, maybe somebody saw DiMaggio in his rookie year or that great 1939 Yankees team, right? Or Bob Feller in his prime. And God, I would just love to hear stories. It was like a great great uncle, so double great, and he actually got to see, I think it was the 1931 Philadelphia A's play. So Modern Relic says it was a steroid era that started his declining interest in baseball. Yeah, interesting. Um, that's a hell of a subject there to consider too, because there is the argument that, of course, you had Buck O'Neill, that, bringing back baseball through his ambassadorship, and then of course the steroid era, and with McGwire and Sosa, like helped put people back in the seats. But baseball, I think it was I think it was a lot of, maybe there's a little bit of hypocrisy going on there. Did baseball know about PED use? I think it did, but baseball was in a bad place in 1994. So and I mean, so for me, Modern Relic, I guess I've kind of, at least my position, like on players from the, like Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, should they be in the Hall of Fame? I used to be, no, no, not ever, not ever, not ever. But Barry Bonds was a supremely talented athlete, and with the Pirates, I don't know. He probably wasn't. I don't know if he started the PED use back then, and I don't know enough about it. I know he didn't look like the big dude, man, that he was with the San Francisco Giants. And pardon my use of gorilla, meaning just is in big. Please don't anybody mistake that for. I just realized it's probably bad. I should have said big bear looking. There we go, big bear guy. But you know, Barry Bonds would have hit a crap ton of home runs anyhow. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame, and that's a hard pill to swallow, but I think he should be. Um, but yet on the other hand, the kid Griffey Jr. did it without roids, right? So um, I think it's going to be a while before Bonds gets in the Hall of Fame, though. It's going to be until I think the next generation of sports writers who were, maybe a lot younger, and the steroid thing will be a thing kind of for them in the long ago and far away, right? So I don't know. Well, anyhow, guys, that being said, we're down to three hardcores here, and that's it. I think everybody else is off to sleep. Modern Relic, enjoy that breakfast breakfast fry up you've had. Larry, thank you for coming in tonight. Absolutely, they absolutely knew about PD and did nothing. So, and benefited hugely. I mean, I have to admit, Larry, I mean, the home run chase was absolutely, it was electrifying. It was electrifying to see McGwire and Sosa just going after it, and they. It's kind of like if you've ever read The Summoner's Tale, or no, is it the man? It's the Man of Law's Tale. No, it's the Summoner's Tale from Canterbury Tales. So he does good things despite being a not good person, and that's kind of how what I feel that the whole steroid era did, because it did bring baseball back. I mean, I remember watching Ken Burns' baseball documentary. So it came out in the strike year. You guys remember that, September of 1994. But I remember Jay Bell listening on the radio, and he was the spokesperson for the players there in Pittsburgh, and he said the Pittsburgh Pirates are officially on strike, and my heart sunk, it just sunk. So Modern Relic says, see, to me, Barry Bonds was the worst of them all. Okay, mainly because he would probably been in the Hall of Fame without taking a single steroid. That's how good he was, and I agree with that. I mean, again, as a Pittsburgh Pirate, he was very lithe and fast, and just incredible speed through the zone. And I guess if I had one question for Barry Bonds, it would be, Barry, why? Because you're right. I think Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens is another one. Roger Clemens could have been Hall of Fame without steroids. Um, guys like Mark McGuire, Sosa, I mean, do they deserve to be in there? I don't know. But Barry Bonds, yeah, you're right. I can see where you would say that. And I would agree with that. And I think that's what makes Barry so controversial because he was a great player. There's no denying that. Um, and I get that the competition is highly keen, but that's the way of it in baseball or any team sport. If you've made it to the highest level and your sport of choice, or your sport where you have the talent, whatever, at least Michael Jordan had the good grace, right? He might have been the world's greatest basketball player, but he was not a good baseball player, right? Only hit 220 in double A. I mean, Michael Jordan, he didn't stoop to cheating, at least to my knowledge, and try to up that batting average or crank out a few more home runs. I mean, Jordan, at least did it with grace. And Barry Bonds, not so much. I know this is going to probably honk off some San Francisco Giants fans. I mean, here's a man who was walked with the bases loaded. That's how supremely talented he was. Larry says Pudge Rodriguez was the worst for him. The size, yeah, he did get big. The size he gained on drugs was insane. And who was it? Was it Lyle Alzado, right? The American football player? And he talked about, I mean, just how bad that he regretted. I believe that there was some interview. I don't know if it was 60 Minutes back in the day or something like that. And he talked about, he really, really regretted. And I think it was Lyle Alzado. Somebody, please correct me, or Lyle Alzado, I guess I should say is how you would say his name. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was an American football player that was talking about that he wished he hadn't done them. So I don't know. I mean, here's a conjecture: is how many more home runs did those PEDs really give Barry Bonds? What, 100? So take that 100 off, he's still, what? Then maybe what he ends up second to Hank Aaron. That ain't bad. Monterelli said those guys tainted their legacies, and they didn't even have to. Yeah, the great ones. You're right. You're absolutely right. So it was Lyle Alzado. Okay. Every once in a while, I know something about American football, but that's, um, you know, no, they didn't have to. And so why did they? So, I mean, like, some of these guys, yeah, you could see it. Okay. But, I mean, love him or hate him, Barry Bonds was just immensely talented. And that's why, Ken Griffey Jr., to me, really was one of my heroes of that era because, and I mean, he was prone to injury and things like that. And, right. I mean, Griffey Jr., he could have maybe tried to find some sort of quasi legal thing or whatever to try to, kind of deal with, but you're injury prone, but he did it. And probably one of the most beautiful swings I've ever seen in baseball. And he didn't need PEDs, you know. So Larry says, so he's guessing probably over 200 for Bonds. Okay, so Bonds doesn't go on steroids. He's still in Willie Mays' company for lifetime home runs. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I just again, I think though that while we do talk about these players, baseball has to share some blame. They have to share some blame because I think if you look at it from their perspective, they're going to say, "Oh no." Until Jose Canseco said something about it, we really didn't know, or whoever. Yeah, Dave Kingman plus steroids equals McGuire. So Larry also says Modern Relic, and Larry says Bonds was great. Saw him play for Arizona State. Wow. In the College World Series in the early 80s. Damn, yeah. He was fast. He could hit for power. Um, just, he choked in the 1990 playoffs, but, he was still Barry, though. He and Bonilla, they stunk it up for us then, for the Pirates. But yeah, great player. So I know I'll never get a chance to ask Barry Bonds a single question, but I would love to ask him and say, you know, just just why, Barry? Why? And I think you guys bring up, Larry Modelo and Modern Relic, both bringing up absolute, just spot on, that good, right? Kingman probably would have hit 900. Yeah, but I was gonna say with the batting average, right? With a 200 batting average. So I wonder if Dave Kingman is Carl Schwarber's hero, because Schwarber, right? I mean, you get that. Schwarber reminds me of Dave Kingman in that way. Low average, but home runs, man. Kingman, fun stuff. Kingman kicks his batting average up 40 points, and he's in the Hall of Fame with Willie Stargell, because Willie Stargell could strike out like, and he was like, I guess, Babe Ruth, when he struck out big. So did Willie Stargell, but still 484 home runs. That's not a bad career at all, by any stretch. So yeah, Barry, you would have been tied with your godfather in home runs if we say you had 200 more home runs. Not so bad. Nonetheless, what are you gonna do, right? These guys. I wonder if I wonder, I wonder too for us, because we love baseball. Maybe we don't love so much the modern game, or this decade, or this past 20 years, maybe, or maybe even going back 30, guys, 30 years since the steroid thing, right? But not only do we love this game, but because these guys, the guys we're talking about, got to do something that, let's face it, none of us had the talent to do. We're talented in other ways, though. But I mean, it's not trying to belittle any of us, but imagine for a moment playing what it's like to be a Major League Baseball player and to be there for more than a cup of coffee. Even if you make it there for a cup of coffee, you are an amazing athlete, and to stay there, and to stay there, to my God, that is just an incredible thing. And so it's like that. So even more than, it's like, look, you had this talent to do what anybody who loves this game would have wanted to do, is to do what you did. And you ruined it, man. You ruined it for yourself, and you ruined it for a lot of fans. That why you brought a lot of fans back after a while. I'm hearing it now, guys. A lot of home run fatigue and stuff like that. It's either strike them out or it's hit out of the park, you know? And I don't know, man. But you know, I am to Barry Bonds as a, what is it? Who is the physicist that had that sort of ranking of civilizations? So like, I am to Barry Bonds as an ant would be to a level 5 civilization or something. I'm never gonna ask him that question. Always liked Willie Stargell. He was a good guy. He was a good guy. Um, Willie. Yeah. So, I think about the players like, Roberto Clemente. Clemente didn't need any PEDs. Hammer and Hank didn't need any PEDs. Babe Ruth, his PEDs were hot dogs and beers, man, and women. you know, um, Mike Kelly, his was whiskey at 3 a.m. in a pub, or a tavern, I guess, whatever you call it. So I don't know. Anyhow, I still love the game. I still love the game, despite Manfred and the roids and God knows what else. I still love baseball and always will, at least until when they start putting a halftime in baseball. Then I'm done with it. When it becomes footballized, I'm done with it. Anyhow, guys, thanks for letting me rabbit on a bit, and hope to catch you soon. And in the meantime, I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are. And we'll see you around the batting cage. Good night, gents. Family, good night.